I don't get in those because everybody shits and pisses and throws up and all kinds of other
Start checking, Ralph.
I hope they're not taking shit.
Start checking.
They are. Everybody does.
It says we're on here, but
you take a shit.
Shit. Yeah, this is the living toilet.
got it. On which one?
Yuck. Like, yes, I get the peeing,
YouTube.
I don't have Facebook yet.
and I have thrown up in the pool before, but it was because I was young and I didn't let my food settle like my father wanted. And all those white people in the hotel cleared the fuck up. It was like a whole nother family. And I was like, whoa, and they were like, you would think fucking Godzilla was coming.
Just wait till both now. I see we're on Facebook. Let's start sharing, guys.
You would think
We got the 10-second countdown. I mean, the microphones are still on, but
you would think the fucking Godzilla was coming the way people were fucking screaming when I threw up in that pool. And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like 8 years old, bro.
Oh, I just got your text. You know, it's kind of thing now. Now I walk in and you're here. So it's like-
Some guy
Or I just walk out and then I walk back in and there they are.
Some guy opened the front door. He was coming
Yeah, it would have been hilarious if you wouldn't have let us come in though. Like, no, you don't have a key. You don't have a key. Gotta wait till they buzz you in. What are we gonna talk to the fans about?
What are you guys feeling? Because it's been a very eventful couple of days with us. So I have like family stories that I can go back and check out. And I guess we can talk about the hiking trip that we all went to. And I can now that we have this, I can put up pictures of where we were. So like, just tell me a picture I'll throw it on. Like this is going to be a cool experiment because now we can do visuals. Now we can do like a news article and then we can talk about it and then, you know, like all kinds of live. We can do it live. Like it's awesome. Like I'm excited for this. And we got our countdown. So the countdown's going to be a lot better. This is just for now. Like I'll have like the best of and then probably Jimmy's music, probably some Jimmy's music. And then, but we need more variety too. So we're going to need, if you know anybody who wants to promote their stuff, but like we'll do like cross branding, you know, I'll put their stuff on. And
I mean, let me make sure my mic's good, because this shit's just dangling. But I don't know anybody that's. I know people that's working on shit, but I don't know if they're ready to promote their shit. You know what I mean? Like obviously, if we got somebody, I did talk to J. Cole.
How's he?
He wants to come on because we were talking about Batman. So like we could talk about nerd shit, but I did tell him I'd get with him. But you know he's been here before. I mean it's been a while, but and he has his own audience, so that'd be cool.
Okay, so we have YouTube chat and Google chat.
Are you gonna manage the YouTube chat?
Yep, they're both on YouTube and Facebook. So this is $40 a month. So if we could all do like $5 a month.
Well, I don't want to talk about it while the mic's on, but we should definitely have dues, bro. Like, fuck that. We should have dues.
Yeah, it's coming up, man. Now it's time to build.
If we get enough dudes, we could all get fucking we need biker jackets.
Don't like that.
Don't say nothing. Now he's gonna be like, oh, why I didn't need why don't like, you know he'll start like 3 sentences when he feels like he's picked on. Is our audio coming good? We didn't even do a test, man.
And I'm gonna get him to redo it as well.
Yeah, I spoke to my cousin about the music. He hasn't responded back to me yet, but that should work. Well, I mean, ideally he gives us something, new, and like I said, I pay him. Like, ain't nothing free around here.
But if he, it's free. It's free marketing for each other.
I mean, ain't nothing free around here but the camera work services. We're not ever gonna pay the cameraman. Even when SVR is fucking rolling in the millions, cameraman's gonna be like, where's my cut?
There you go. Laura Sprangler said she's hearing us fine, and that's from Facebook, so it's really perfectly.
Thanks, Laura Sprangler.
Countdown coming.
Man, the cameraman didn't even sell my what I said about him, but it's cool. It's cool.
He's cameramanning right now.
Don't look like it to me. Look like he's on one of them union breaks. Like when they're making movies, like say there's a light guy, right? You would mess with the light. So if the filter fell off that light, random Joe that's standing next to it, that's like the grip or whatever, he couldn't fix that, even if it was simple as just picking it up, because it's against his union, which is wild, man. That's like saying the people you live with can't wash dishes because they didn't. That's not their job, you know what I mean? They're the clothes washer, but they can't wash dishes.
Right.
That's fucking crazy. Actually, I overheard I overheard some folks in a Giant once. I don't know how many people lived in the house, but they were talking about like, yeah, all I do is shop for groceries. And one of my roommates does all the laundry, and then somebody else cooks all the food. Like literally, their only task in this house for X amount of people
that saves a lot
was to buy fucking food. And like they knew what people like. Like obviously, somebody's a vegetarian, you get them their shit. Like I don't know how like the money worked. Obviously, I doubt. Say Nicole went to work. And every week she had to spend her own money to feed. Right. But you know what I mean? But the other one, people didn't have to go to the supermarket. Like obviously if you wanted something and somebody couldn't get it, or you just randomly wanted it.
You're gonna buy a bag of chips and come home and fucking
Nicole was like,
where the fuck did you get that?
I did not buy those chips. And they were like, chill, Nicole, I just wanted these chips. You should have put it on the fucking list. Now. And they just F5 that business. I keep hearing this very handsome voice that's repeating the same things that I'm saying. It's crazy, man. Fucking the future is so bright.
2 minutes to go. You know what it is, don't you?
That's the man, bro. I don't care what else says.
Alright, here we go. We're going live again with the Spinning Venom Radio. I got Bob Hollywood Presidential and Sindrid Presidential here, and we're about to talk about. I don't even know what we're about to talk about. We're going to spend an hour and a half talking about something.
How about just freestyle it?
Yeah.
Because like we didn't discuss a topic.
And that's our show.
That's what we do. I don't know. That's the next Royal Rumble entrance. So if it's the Taker, he's gonna take forever getting to the ring. I watched this video. And it was howdy. I watched this video and it was somebody. I guess they were getting arrested in a store or stopped by security, and the person that posted the video said edited it to like theme music. So, and it really, because like, I guess like their parent or whatever was coming in there like, no, you're not going to arrest my son or whatever. Right. And it really looked like they were coming in to the music. Like the first music was The Rock.
I saw that. That was hilarious.
It was like, if you smell, and then you see the father frazzled as shit, just coming through the entrance, and it looked like he was coming to The Rock's music, and he's just fighting with the security guard. And I'm like, what the? It was like 4 different versions. One was Hulk Hogan's, that wasn't as funny, and one was Undertaker's, but it wasn't He's walking too fast for it to make sense with the Undertaker. I can't remember what the other one was. Was it Stone Cold? I don't. But it was gold. It was fucking gold. Because he really looked like when he came through the double doors, it looked like he broke the curtains and he was just about to go to the ring and raise hell. Real quick, person whose name I can't say. Do you know how to make paella? Damn it.
Here we go.
Because
Boom.
paella
And
is
we're
delicious.
on live. Reds to go. Spitting Venom Radio. I am Endgame Jourdain, joined by our illustrious cast members.
Bob Hollywood.
Yeah. And then who are you? Sindred is here too.
Now when you say it, do you like? Are you? I'm Sindred. Like you gotta like.
Exactly.
And I'm not being funny. I'm asking like, is there a way that you would want to get it over? You know.
Get yourself over.
So like a name like Sindred, you can't sound like a dude that frequents for hockey talk. You be like, "This is Sindred in the house. How y'all doing tonight?" Sindred doesn't sound like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't thought about it. I'm still not used to it.
That's cool. I'm never gonna call you that, but
I don't think any of us are used to it yet. I'll call you it. I just called you it, so at least I'm a better friend, right?
Yeah.
he is. All right.
Is he?
Nope, you
Wait,
answered
what
that.
do you mean?
I'm
is
out,
he?
bro. I'm out.
You
bro.
don't know this?
No,
I'm out, bro.
I want to know. I want to know what he thinks.
No, I'm out. As soon as you said
does
yeah,
he think?
as soon as you agreed, I'm out the
Here's
door.
what he thinks. I'm asking you.
No, I think it would just be weird. It's like me calling any of my other friends, even though they wrestle, their ring name, you know? Okay.
Well, you didn't say anything, Bob.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I didn't.
That's true. That's true. So everybody having a good week? Did y'all have a good weekend? It's Tuesday, so this is our weekly update with each other so that we can see how everybody's been.
I haven't done anything, bro.
No?
Since Friday.
Because you get off on Friday, right?
No, I work Thursday. I'm supposed to work Thursday through Saturday, overnight. I worked Thursday and Friday. Saturday I didn't have work, and I was supposed to work this Sunday as well. Didn't have work, so I haven't been to work since technically early Saturday morning. And
That ain't so bad though. So what do you do with your time whenever you?
Once-
Because you have how many days off? 4?
4 supposedly, but it's been what 6? It'll
Yeah.
be 6, I think. I'm not good with the maths.
Right.
5. It'll be 5 altogether. I'm in the middle of it right
Dang,
now.
that's like a vacation.
But you know how vacations actually are, though. Like when you have a vacation, and when it's time to go back, you're like, oh, my body's not used to it anymore, or
Yeah.
mentally it's like I've just been
gotta
having
get
too
ready.
much fun being off and free. But nah, Sunday I spent the day with my kids, and then yesterday I don't think I did anything, and today I left out. Today I was supposed to me and Jimmy were actually going to go on the trail. I just wanted to get some action figure photography, but we didn't end up doing that.
Right.
As the time
Oh,
just
what do you mean
disappeared
by
like that.
action figure photography?
Well, I mean, like you can, if you follow my Facebook page, Melodramatic Plastic, or follow me on Instagram, also Melodramatic Plastic.
I love that name, by the way.
Thank you.
I know I've told you
I
that
try.
before. Melodramatic Plastic.
I try. I just like to take pictures of action figures, and like if you do it in nature, you got your scenery there. You know what I mean? You can
Right.
make it look a little more realistic. You got to worry about lighting, maybe. Like maybe you can't get
Right,
really
but the
good
lighting
light.
will be a lot easier trying to get like.
Well, I mean,
around the
like you don't
angles of it,
have like here we have lights in the studio. You don't have that outside really.
Right.
Because you have the sun, but it might not be what you want. But you can still get some really good images. And I was hoping to do that today, but we didn't get around to it. I mean, it's still tomorrow, but I don't know. I need to do something with these days off. It's just because it feels like with me being off, I'm trying to keep up with my non-off hours, like before I started this job,
Right.
which is sleeping at night, being awake during the day. So sometimes I just feel like ridiculously tired. And it'll be something I'll get used to.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can get used to it though, because your sleep cycle, like your body just wants to be shut down.
Right,
during
but I
those
don't want to
hours.
sleep during the day. Like even, I just don't.
Yeah, because that's horrible. Right. 'Cause
Right. I
and
just
you're
feel like
what sucks is you're still not even when you do sleep during the day. You're not resting like you would if you were
Right.
asleep. So it's almost better to just power through.
right.
Damn, Bob.
It is what it is, bro.
I
I
wonder,
got.
man, you got them cobwebs in your brain after
I
like
gotta
3
make
days
this
straight of work.
I got actually. It's like the first night you go in, it's fine. Like, you blaze through that shit. You're like, this ain't shit. I could do this every day of my life. And then that second night is like hit or miss. Like, because the work ain't no harder, but it's like mentally, you might not be there.
Right.
Especially, like I said, I knew I was going to be off Saturday. So that Friday night, I was just thinking, like, this is my last night. You know what I mean? Like, I got to come in on Sunday, but I got a day off. So mentally, I just didn't want to fucking be there.
Right.
So I think that's more like towards the end, like the last day of your shifts, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because it's just like, I'm off after this,
And I just
I'm
gotta
free.
Get it through.
But
That's like on a wrestling trip. On the way there, it's always so fun because you got all these ideas and you're like, oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do that, oh, I'm going to see everybody, we're going to catch up, haven't seen this person in a while, because, it brings everybody together.
Right.
Some of your friends live all across the country. But on the way back, that last day, that's like the longest day because all you want to do, like you've had your fun, you've done all this traveling, and now you're ready to crash. And you can't rest anywhere except for your own bed. You can rest a little bit, but you're not fully rested.
I think that's the same. Like, anytime you're away from home, like when I go on vacations, no matter how much fun I'm having, eventually I want to be in my own bed.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's like, oh, this hotel's bed is super comfortable. But after 2 days, if you're there for 5 days or a week, you're like, I want my bed. And the bed you're in is still comfortable. It's obviously built to be, it's obviously built to survive or last you a good amount of time, but it's just not your own. And then when you factor in the tasks and activities you're undertaking, you just want to go home. That's when the real relaxation starts. So it's like if you go on vacation and you leave Friday night or Saturday morning and you expect to come back next Saturday, that weekend you're like, I just want to do nothing until I have to go back to work. Like, you ever had that feeling? Like when we go on trips, you don't even want to come back.
Yeah, I don't want. I'm very happy.
You just want to stay gone?
Yeah, just being away.
I mean, I guess that makes sense too.
I do like sleeping in my own bed. Like, I don't stay at people's houses. Like, if I'm at parties or I'm at a friend's house and they're like, oh, just stay over, I don't do that because I don't like it. I'd rather, if I can just drive home, regardless of the situation, I just drive home. But if I'm out, if I'm away, I have no urge to want to come back home.
I see. I'm the exact opposite. It's like the last time I really went on vacation was a cruise to the Bahamas, and it was cool, but I got tired of eating the same things. I got tired of being stuck on the boat. I just wanted to be the fuck home.
See, I went on a cruise and I don't understand how you get tired of it because I feel like you're only on it for 3, 4, sometimes maybe 5 days, like depending on how long your fucking cruise is, and then it's like you got all these different restaurants and buffets and bars and clubs and stores and I mean all these different decks you can go get drunk on. Like, I mean, it's just a lot of different shit to do. I feel like you don't really have enough time to do everything, depending on.
But see, but when you're in the cruise,
keep me out there. I'd love it.
When you're on the cruise,
fucking apply for a job and just stay out.
I just feel like you're doing the same shit over and over. Like, because there are different restaurants other than the buffets, but they usually have like a cost, or you got to dress a certain way, and like I was just prepared to fucking just be in the sun. I had fucking flip flops and shorts. I didn't have a fucking dress shirt or any of that shit. So when I won, like a meal for 2 or whatever at the steakhouse, I had to borrow shoes from my father. I think maybe I had a shirt, but I wasn't prepared.
How did you win it?
Bingo, I think it was. I think it was bingo.
You went on a cruise to play bingo? I
went on a cruise. I mean, I didn't just play bingo, but that was an activity on the boat because, like, we were only at port. We stopped at 2 different ports. We were only at those ports 2 days and only for like maybe like 6 hours each day. So it wasn't like the boat was stopped at the port and we could get off day and night. For the most part, you were on a ship. So yeah, I paid fucking bingo. Is that wrong?
I got really drunk. One stop we made at this local spot, and it was just me with a bunch of people, and I was dancing with them all. We were all in lines doing shit. Like, it was weird, and I got really drunk. And apparently, some of the family I was with, they were like apparently blowing my phone up. I didn't feel it, and I was really fucked up. and I just happened to look at my phone for some reason and noticed I had like 14 missed calls and like a whole bunch of text messages. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And, like, they told me at that point, like, 20 minutes ago, hey, the boat is getting ready to leave. So I had this, like, panic moment because I'm like, that was 20 minutes ago. And I just started running to where the fucking, like, boat was. And then I turned down the wrong fucking, like, little side street thing or whatever. I wasn't far from it, but I got turned around and I was fucked up. And, but I saw the boat and I saw just a few more people getting on the thing. And I was like, oh, thank fuck. And then I started thinking, like, because there wasn't just my ship. It was like 4 of them. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is my boat. I'm pretty sure. And I ran up the thing. I had to show my thing. And I was like, all right, cool. That's right.
As you're running up.
Right.
As you're running up, you're like, ooh, I made it. All you hear is, you're like, no. What country was this? Where were
Mexico.
you at? Yeah, you were Mexican now. You lived there.
And that's where you are now.
And I would have never met Jimmy because he lived in Mexico. His family never came back for him, oddly.
Honestly, I think I would have been fine for it. And, yeah, they probably wouldn't have. But I would have been fine living in Mexico.
Like, when I got off the boat, like, that first... So we were in the Bahamas. I want to say the first island was Nassau. The first island was cool. Like, it wasn't too hot that day. Like,
when did y'all go? When was this? Like
2 years ago? It's 2020, so 2018?
Oh, I can roll forward easier. Thanks.
So, the first island was cool. It wasn't too hot. We went on a little tour. Like, we paid, like, it wasn't just us, but, like, there was a taxi driver or whatever. He took people around the island. So you got to see the island. Like, you got to see, like, the poor parts. You got to see different stuff. It wasn't just, like, the tourist side. And I liked how the houses were. It was like a normal neighborhood, just more tropical, if that makes sense. Like, you could tell it was, like, a hotter climate.
Right.
But then the next day, I can't think of what port it was. It was just super fucking hot. Like, and I didn't, like, there was nothing in walking distance. Like, you would have had to pay the taxi driver to go anywhere other than right there. And I was like,
damn,
I don't want to deal with this shit. It's no trees. I'm getting my ass back on the boat. And I just got on the boat.
It just wasn't that interesting.
It was just so fucking hot. And like I said, if you wanted to go anywhere on that island, you had to fucking pay. Like, the first island, you could walk. We wouldn't have got to the places we saw by walking, but you could have still been on the island, experienced it. But the second island, you couldn't have done anything right there. And I think I might have talked about this on the podcast before, or at least we talked about it. In the Bahamas, they have the same currency ratio as us. So $1 there is $1 here. So it wasn't like,
not a big trade off or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't like you
were
to
having
some
like
countries.
Extra fun.
Right. It wasn't like I could ball out.
Right.
You know, if I couldn't ball out here, I couldn't ball out there. So
You were trying to buy a car for $5.
even though I have no way to get this car back, I bought a car.
Right.
But I gotta leave it here. Like, no, it was
to somebody.
It was the same currency. I mean, it was a good time. Like I said, we went on a little tour. The cab driver took us on a tour, and the way he was driving, man, like, whoo, it was. He
was driving like a local.
He was driving like a fucking lunatic, bro. Like, and I was like, well, how's the traffic here? Like, do you guys have a lot of accidents? You must not have a lot of accidents. And he was like, no, there's accidents all the time. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Well, maybe you shouldn't drive like you want to contribute to it.
What does he mean by there's accidents? I guess
He
just sees.
Here in America, you come to a red light. You typically stop at the red light. If you're turning, you wait before you turn. Mm-hmm. If you're not gonna, most people that run red lights at least pause to make sure there's no cars coming. There, the light's red, cool. That just means the cars have the right of way. I don't give a fuck. Like, they'll stop, obviously, but even if they're going straight, it's just like, and it's like, damn, we barely missed that car that had the right of way. And it's like, everybody's doing this shit. So you're like, I see why you guys definitely have accidents. I mean, we didn't get in an accident with this dude, but it was.
But there's definitely some accidents going on.
It was wild, bro. Like, and I've heard that's how it is in a lot of foreign countries. Like in Europe, it's just like people, they don't give a fuck about that red light. It's like, it's a suggestion.
Right.
At that.
Right. Yeah. That's what my friend Jaime said. It is. That's the way it is down in Mexico. He's like, you got to get somebody to drive for you because if you get down there and you try to drive, you're gonna have a hard time.
Because you're probably gonna
because people are just kind of
right. You're probably going to be
used to do
adhering to the traffic laws, and motherfuckers are behind you like honk honk, and you're
that's
like,
what he said. He said he loves driving up here because everybody pays attention to the rules.
But it's just funny too because like when you're here and you have a like if you're at a fucking light and it's like you like you here you'll be at a light and it's like red, green, honk, like people are like on it, like
Right.
God damn it, just turn fucking green.
Where
Like
was I coming from?
give me
the-
a
do not wanna
chance
wait.
to put my foot on the fucking
I
gas.
was coming from somewhere the other night, and there was this dude behind me. We had just got off 83, and there's cars in front of me. As soon as the lights would turn green, he's honking. And it was pissing me off because I'm thinking, I can't fucking go. It wasn't directly directed at me, but I'm like, damn, give the people in front of us a chance to fucking go when the light. And it was late as shit. I was tired. It was really pissing me off.
Right.
And he kept
Right.
doing it every fucking green light. Every time we came to a red light and it turned green, just immediately started honking. And when he turned, I was so happy that he wasn't behind me no more. But it was just fucking, don't get me wrong. I honk at people, but usually if they're doing something dumb, like you're coming to my lane, I'm clearly here. This car's not invisible. Shit like
Well,
that.
there's a reason the horn is there.
Right.
So it's like
Like I don't honk. Like when I used to do Uber, if somebody cut me off, people were like, "Well, why didn't you honk at them?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm already fucking cut off. Honking at them's not gonna." Like they're already in fucking front of me. Like,
exactly.
what the fuck is honking gonna do? Then it's just gonna like, okay, I'll
Let
cut
them
you
know
off.
I'm there.
Fuck you too. Like,
Right,
okay.
right.
So it's like there's no need to honk. But no, this dude was pissing me off. I've honked at people if yes, we're at a red light, the light's green. It's been green a decent amount of time, and you're
Right.
clearly not paying attention.
Right.
But I'm not
Right.
gonna honk at you as soon as the light turns green.
Right.
That's asshole. That's an asshole move.
That's an asshole. That is right. Exactly. That's an asshole. But there's a lot of people who don't have any type of patience for that anyway. They'll blow their horn just in anticipation that you're not on it like they're on
Do
it.
you remember? This is obviously back in the day. Like, and it had to have been you. It was either you or Jimmy that was driving, and like we'd be sitting at a red light, and I would just like honk your horn, and like just
you
as-
honk my horn.
No,
all the time.
but this
I
is
do remember
I
that.
honk
I'm
your
like,
horn.
I got it, Bob. I can do it. And you're
I
like,
honk your
"Go."
horn if people are doing the shit that we're describing. Like they're sitting at a fucking green
but I'm like,
light.
Bob, I was
You're
about
right.
to get
I
to
would
it.
honk
Bob
this
just does it
motherfucker's
for
horn. We're sitting at a red light, the light's red, just to see if I caught motherfuckers off guard. Because the shit
They'd
was
just
funny
be
to
sitting
me.
there. Yeah, we'd be right behind them, and they'd be the first in line.
And they'd be like, oh, and they that's just an asshole thing to do.
he's like honking, and they look up, and they're like,
They're like,
what?
I
And he's
can't fucking go
Go, man, go! Now's the time to do it. Do it. Just drive into the.
I was much younger than. I mean, I don't think I was any more or less of an asshole than I am now. But at
Nah,
least
you're
I
pretty much the
filter.
Yeah,
I
you
know how to
filter-
filter my assholeness.
You filter it better, yeah. You filter
So-
the asshole's still there. It's
Right.
just
I'm till I
put it
die.
out. Yeah, you put it out there at the right times.
Every day, I'm an asshole. Like,
No, it's just funny because like when like you blow my horn, when you blow my horn,
I was
when
gonna
you
not
blow my
go with the
horn,
innuendo.
Guys,
Daddy.
we're live. I can't beat
But
that.
but it's like Bob, I was gonna get to it, but like you do it like a second before I was about to do it. You know what I mean? Like you do it as if I wasn't going to do it, but I guess like you have a maybe like a second to like maybe like a half second. Your impatience is about a half
My
second.
patience meter. Where
You know, yeah, I'm
it's
trying
slightly
to figure out how to
ran out.
fucking word
No, I
this,
mean,
but-
I helped you out.
Yeah. So like your meter is slightly above my meter. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Well, because sometimes I feel like
because I lay on my horn sometimes. Like I will lay on top of it. Like because people just I can't understand some people and like what
sometimes I
goes on
feel
in their
like you're
minds.
not going to do it. That's why I
Right.
do it. Like when you had the Camaro, right? That was what you had right before this.
No, I did Mustang.
Whatever car you had where the horn,
the Mustang.
the horn
gang.
was all the way in the fucking hood that you had to.
No, that was my
the
Eclipse.
The horn was in the hood.
horn wasn't a weird. No, he had
it
like
was
a
underneath-
button.
It was a button underneath the like dash. So like you got like your steering wheel, and then underneath my like where your like knees are.
I felt like
when
it
you're
was
driving.
easier for me to get to it than it was for him.
There's
That's why
a
I would do
button
it.
underneath that you press. I
And
think
that's the-
I think the horn broke. Like the
Oh.
original horn had
Right.
to have because you could still push in the middle of the steering wheel. But that was my very first car. It was a '98 Eclipse, and yeah, it was just the weirdest fucking thing. Like I would have to go underneath the fucking beep beep. It was I
hell was
don't
that?
I guess somebody installed another horn because the first one broke. I don't know, but it was definitely very weird.
That's very weird.
I remember.
Sounds very weird.
Speaking of horns, when I had the Buick, still miss that car. Like that's a goal of mine. Most people if they blow up, they want to. Oh, I want a Benz. I want a fucking a Hummer or something. They want something that's fancy. Me, when I blow up, I'm buying another fucking 1993 Buick Park Avenue. Fuck that. Like that horn, bro. Like it just made the weirdest fucking sound. Like I barely ever used it, but when I did it,
But you didn't like it.
it seemed like it was louder in the car than it probably was outside of the car. But that was my shit. I love that car, bro.
Was it the Eclipse or was
I think it was
was
newer
the
than the
Camaro?
Eclipse.
It might have been the Camaro.
Because I mean, my man Jimmy be just. Well, I can't talk at this point. I think now I'm on my
Yeah, I was
fourth
gonna
car,
say like
so I
don't
can't
do
talk
that
shit.
because
At
I only
least-
have 4 cars.
At
too.
least your cars went
Total?
to good places.
Are we talking about how many cars we have owned total?
Yeah, I've owned 4 in less time than he's owned probably 3.
How many
So-
cars have you owned total?
I have 4. This is my 4th car.
And I'm on my 4th
Okay.
car.
Should I go down my list?
Well, we know you're like another.
I
friend of
only
ours.
ever remember.
Corolla, number 1.
That was a
it was
sweet car,
Explorer,
bro.
Then it was the Corolla. Corolla had a long.
That Corolla was-
We
woo!
all had a lot of time in that Corolla, except for you. I don't think.
Nah,
I don't think you were actually riding them, but
we ain't fuck with him like that.
yeah,
Was it silver?
yeah.
Was it silver? I don't remember the cover.
Was it silver? What
I thought it was
kind of
tan.
silver?
What?
The Corolla.
Yellow silver.
Okay, damn.
Grayish.
Okay.
I
damn.
remember
Yeah.
you having a
Better than
Corolla, but I don't remember
fuck.
very many of your cars except for the one you have now and the one
And
before.
the one before it. So I had let me try to brain out the lineage of cars now. So we had the Corolla. Oh no! I had an Explorer first, and then I got the Corolla,
The red S10, right?
and then I went to that was Grandpa's, technically not mine. Mine was the Explorer.
The Explorer was white.
yeah.
The Explorer
That
was
my-
white.
That's my second Explorer.
That one I've been in.
That was my second Explorer.
God
I
damn.
I
So
I
I
don't mean
think
to
you've
keep
got
cutting
us
you
beat.
off. No. I want him to get down the list, but I'm
That's
trying
my-
to remember the cars you've had because I know you had a white Explorer.
Yep.
So
I
I
remember
that
that. Oh,
one
yeah.
I
From
remember.
Florida, yep.
All right, so Explorer, Corolla, another Explorer. How'd it
Yeah,
go?
so so there was the first Explorer. You never touched the first
Yeah.
Explorer because I drove that up here and then I traded that in for. I didn't trade it in. I got like $500 for it, and then I took out the loan for the Corolla. Then I did the Corolla, and then after that I had a work van, which was a white Ford work van, and then the transmission went out on that, so I got another white work van, and then the ball bearings and a couple other things went out on that. The engine pretty much blew on it. So then I was like, okay, I just need to get another SUV, white Explorer. Still had the Corolla, so I had 2 of those vehicles for a while. And then I moved up here, and then, we've used the Corolla a lot. And then eventually whenever I moved up here, I lost the Corolla. Somehow I lost the Corolla. It was still driving. And I think that there was something. No, I know what it was. I
you
had
said
to get it
one-
legal. I couldn't get it legal from Maryland because it was too fucked up. There was too much shit. It was totally legal in Florida to have.
Of course it was.
But you gotta, right, of course.
a
it
lot
was.
of stuff happened in that
A
car.
lot of-
so
a lot of shit's legal there. That's not
like my
legal
car don't even
anywhere
have
else.
wheels. Can I drive it up here? Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
man, just
Or
don't,
down-
just don't slide out. Hey, drive at your own risk. That's all. So then I had 2 work vehicles. That I had the Corolla, and then I came up here, and then I got rid of the Explorer and got a what is that thing called? It's a little blue car. It was a little blue car. Remember the little blue car? Honda, not a Civic.
the Fit.
A Hyundai. It was a Hyundai.
Oh, yeah.
A Hyundai.
Oh, it was a dark blue one.
Yeah,
wasn't
dark
it?
blue,
It was
yeah.
a dark blue Hyundai Sonata.
Hyundai Sonata.
It was a Sonata.
It was
I
a
remember
Sonata.
the Sonata.
That's it.
I
was
keep
a
forgetting.
Sonata.
I remember.
Shit,
I remember the
Sonata.
color.
Yeah, it was the Sonata.
It was a
Sonata,
dark blue Hyundai Sonata.
Sonata. I fell.
Almost as many cars as both of us have done. And when he's done, he will have.
And then the Escape,
Then the Escape. Then
and
the,
now the Jeep.
yeah.
And
So
the
that-
Jeep, I'm proud to say that I'm actually happy. I was never, ever
Like
happy.
actually satisfied.
Any of those,
See, that's
I
crazy.
never. Those were all just. I got to get me to where I'm going. Cars.
You wanna
The Jeep,
know-
I'm happy with. I really wanted the Jeep, and I got it. So I'm
My
happy.
curse has always been. I'm not trying to sound any kind of way saying this. I've had help getting the cars that I've gotten, so it's not all me necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But I have always been the kind of guy that's like, I won't settle. I have to drive something that I like driving, or I at least could see myself driving. Like
Right.
when I got my very first car, the '98 Eclipse, when I was 16. My stepfather at the time, he made me save up half, and he was going to match the other half, and then I had to make monthly payments for the half that he matched he didn't need it by any means, but he wanted to teach me as a 16-year-old how to make a car payment.
Right.
So he was like, you save up $3,000, I'll match $3,000. You save up $5,000, I'll match $5,000. But you're paying me in monthly installments after that. So I saved up. I forget how much I saved up. Like maybe it was like $2,000 or something like that. But we found an old piece of shit up in PA somewhere, and that's the one I went with.
What was their name? Oh, a car. I thought you were talking about a person.
No. So we found some old piece of shit that was gonna So
he's gonna piggyback me up.
My stepfather was like, all right. So he told me to look. I told him, So he said, all right, we got $4,000 to fucking play with. This is my first car, right? So he's like, So I looked around. I find this little buy here, pay here type little car lot, and I found the car. It was going to be an old ass Ford Escort. And it was a stick. And he was like, you don't know how to drive a stick. I was like, well, you could teach me, right? And he was like, well, fuck, all right. I guess if you want your first car to be a stick. So we get there to the lot.
Ford Escort?
It was a Ford Escort.
What does that look like?
It's like an old fucking, I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
It's a car. So I didn't want it by any means, right? But I was like, fuck it, this is what I got to work with. I'm tired of saving money. I'm ready to get a car. Right. I had my permit. I was about to take the test to get my actual license. So I was like ready to get a car. So we get there, and about 3 cars down, I saw the Mitsubishi Eclipse, and I'm thinking like, oh, fucking Fast and Furious, fucking, oh yeah, I want this car. And it was also a stick, but that car was about like $800-900 more. And I was like, come on. And I was telling myself, I was like, come on, like I really want this car, please. Like I'll pay, add it to my fucking thing, I'll pay. So finally he was like, all right, fuck it. So we took it out. He took it out for a test drive. And everything checked out, and so that's how I got that car. And then that car finally shit the bed. I got the Camaro. It was a 2002 Camaro. It was the last year they made them before they started making them again in 2010. And it had the fucking T-tops and the whole fucking gimmick. And I was like, I love it. I was like,
love
man,
that shit. Yeah, you love that. He
and
loves
it's got
cars.
that
He's
old like bullet style like body frame. A lot of people don't like those frames, but I actually are one of my favorites.
The bullet frame?
Yeah, because that was back to 97 to 2002, I think. 96 maybe to 2002 is when they had that like sharp front end.
Like a lot of people didn't like it. That's why they stopped making them shit.
So then after that I kept having problems with it. Then I got a Mustang, and I was 2013 black, fucking 6-speed, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking love that car.
I remember that one.
It looked so good. Like it was so clean. It was so nice, and I was like, fucking, it sounded great. It was just a great car, and there was nothing really wrong with it. I just wanted to trade it in and get a 4-door. I thought, I'll get a 4-door, but I want a sporty 4-door, and I was like, I don't want a Charger. I don't want any of that. So I somehow landed on the Civic SI.
Sporty 4-door. That's a hard one.
I was like, I'll just get a Civic SI. It's a fucking SI. It's supposed to be, it has a turbo in it. It's supposed to be fast and whatever the fuck. And it looked really pretty. It was brand new.
Did it have a turbo in it?
Yeah, it does have a turbo in it. But it's my first brand new car I've ever owned. Oh, the other ones were used, obviously. So I got that in December of 2017, and it was a 2018 model. So it had like 30 miles on it.
Hell yeah.
So.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what you want, though. What do you have now? I was about to say, what do you have now? I
still have the Civic SI. Yeah.
Are you still happy in it?
No, I want to get rid of it. I hate it.
See, like,
I don't hate it. I just want to get rid of it.
Just done with it.
See, my first car was the car I was happiest in. Like I said, that Buick, it had size. It was
on the
decent.
Inside, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Bro, that back seat.
The Corolla had room.
But
people don't know that.
The Corolla is ridiculous that it had. Huh?
Wasn't that Buick like that low in the back? Like when you drove it, it was like
it was
this.
The same. It wasn't any. But no, the Corolla, we got some big meaty mofos in that car. Like all I can remember is that night we got kicked out of the fucking club, and how many of us there was that were in that fucking.
Was that
Corolla.
Iguana Cantina?
Yes, Iguana Cantina.
Downtown Baltimore, back in the day. Well, it was like 8-9 years ago, but that's the day for
probably. It was longer than that.
First car?
It was over 10 years. No, the Buick was my first car.
The Buick was.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah, the Buick. I paid $500 for it. Some old woman.
$500?
I never even met the woman. I wanted to say she was African because there was a bunch of African CDs in the car. And
what are African CDs?
Like just African music, just like a lot of
like drums,
like and I never really listened too much. There was a lot of
Yeah,
religious
yeah.
shit too, so she could have
Gotcha.
she could have either been African or
That's
Jesus.
just interesting. Yeah.
But
One of the two.
but one of the two, maybe
Probably
both. Probably both. But yeah, that car I bought for $500. I think I got new tires for it immediately after I got it, and eventually it had an issue, and the mechanic we took it to was saying it was one thing, and my father was saying it was one thing, and both of them were knowledgeable people. But so I was just like, you know what, y'all can't figure it out. I know it's probably I could put $500 into it to get it fixed. For some dumbass reason, I just went and bought a whole new car, brand new car. Like, and when I say I love that fucking car,
You just had, yeah.
like, it was just.
What was your favorite part about it?
I think part of it was the fact that it was mine. Like, it was my first car. Because, like, actually, technically it was my second car, but I never drove my first car. My father sold me a car, but then he ended up fucking selling it to someone else, even though he took my money for it. But it wasn't much
That
money.
sounds about right.
It
Like
wasn't
what
much
parents
money,
do.
though. It literally was just enough to
told you
say,
he
My
does
mom
not-
did
Here's
that
a
to my
bill of sale.
motorcycle. If my mom's listening, she did that to my motorcycle.
oh, shit, I didn't know you were
Even
a
though she
motorcycle.
said well, I never even drove it. I never even learned to drive
Right.
it.
But no, like that, the Buick, it was so much room, and you would think with the size of it there would be a gas issue, but
Right.
it wasn't. Like, only thing that happened, like when I worked for my father, I worked in the city. I had parked on the street, like literally right in front of our building. Like you could see my car from. No, I'm good. You could see my car from the inside of the building. My father moved it one day to just outside of the view of the building, and some asshole broke into my shit and stole my book bag that was on the back seat. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. Like, they stole my book bag. I think I had like a package that I needed to take to the post office. So I had to refund that person. And obviously, like, the glass got repaired for free. That was my first claim with Geico. But like I said, I wish I would have just devoted the money to that car to get it fixed.
So are we on the Buick still?
Still in that Buick.
All right,
I don't
number
give a
two.
fuck about none of the other cars, bro.
What was number 2?
Number 2 was my Chevy Sonic, was my smallest car.
Oh, that was the second one?
And I loved that car too.
I feel like you had more.
I called that car Applejack. The fucking Buick was called the Longhorn. I mean the Longboat, because it was
It definitely looked like
nice
a
car.
fucking boat.
And, but the number 2 was the Chevy Sonic. It was a tiny red car named the Applejack after my favorite My Little Pony character, Applejack.
Applejack?
Yeah.
Bit of the
My Little Pony?
My Little Pony. And then my second.
That was a show. Are you a brony? You are a brony.
I-
We had that 5
yeah.
years ago. Yeah, you're a brony.
so then the
It's got to be a
old
thing
blood
again.
right
We
here.
got to bring that back. Yeah.
Old blood. I like the blood.
So then
Wakes you
my
up.
third car was the Kia, and it just was what it was. Oh, by the way, yeah, I've talked about it. The second car, the fucking Chevy we talked about. That was the pit maneuver car. That was the car that got totaled.
That was this fucking Grand Theft Auto tryout car.
He was trying.
Needless to say,
He was
they
trying.
don't want me to fucking do stunt work nowhere. They were like,
God,
"No."
I love that.
And then the third car, I just couldn't keep up on the payments, and now I'm driving a Nissan, which is old, bought it from my parents. And I'm good because it's mine. Like, I don't have to, you know what I mean? I didn't overpay at some dealership, because if you buy a new car,
Right.
you're overpaying. As soon as you drive off that lot, you've lost value. You're never going to make your money back. Unless, of course, something's up with it in like that first week or 10 days or whatever it is.
But when
you
you're
got-
getting a car, I mean, it's not like buying a house. You're not trying to get your money back for it. You know
But you
what
should
I mean?
still
Like,
have the best investment, which would be a pre-owned car.
well, some would argue that a new car would last longer.
Some would
Depends on
argue
the
that
car.
either a car is not an investment
It's
in
not
general
an
at
investment.
all.
I don't think it's an investment. It is.
I mean, but that's not
as
true,
soon
because
as
there
you
are some
buy it.
people that have cars and they've had those cars
Now, if you
forever.
fix
And
them
obviously
up-
you're putting money into the car, but that's still cheaper than like if you have like your Corolla, you've probably had that the longest
Right,
out of all your
right.
cars.
That
And it's a
was worth it.
Toyota
That was worth
Corolla.
it, right.
Like it's
That's
Toy-
you're gonna get. That's an investment.
There's Toyotas
That's an
older than
investment.
us still on the road with miles. It's not like, oh, I only drive my car to work on Sundays or whatever. These cars have miles. But
Yeah,
they're-
a lot of like Hondas and Toyotas are like
But
that.
like the Japanese cars, the manufacturers made it to last longer.
Right.
Our American shits, nah.
Not quite.
They're like,
Not quite.
nah, we don't care if it goes up. You're gonna either buy.
But
it
I
or-
would say a good car investment, if you want to call like an investment, would be like to buy like an old school like classic like muscle car or some kind of just classic car, and then you put a bunch of like money into it to make it
There's a
like
collector's.
a show car or something like that, and then you can then sell it for more than what you've done to it, or
Right.
more for what you paid for it, like because it's already raised, it's already up in its like value because it's a classic car.
But it's
like
possible that you still
and
would
then you
make more
can
money.
you can put like you can set yourself a budget, like I'm going to put X amount of money into this, get it to like show car status or whatever the fuck, and then you can take it to like either like a car auction or like you can sell it to like a buyer who wants that type of car for his collection, or he just wants that car in general. And then you could take a car that you paid $5,000 for or $10,000 for, and you can sell it for like $70,000 or $80,000 depending on what you've done to it,
Which ain't so bad though.
and
mean, I
depending
will
on the
say-
status of the car too, like what kind of car it is.
I will say I do like the people that, like how my hobby is action figures.
Melodramatic plastic, baby.
some
We gotta
people-
go. We gotta circle back to that too.
Right. Some people's hobby might just be fucking taking pictures in general or bird watching. I do like the people whose hobbies are
Man, if your hobby's
putting
a
money
bird watching,
into
I'm
their
sorry.
car. Like, you know what you want, you know how much money you make. On this fucking paycheck, I'm buying new headlights. I'm buying the bright ass green ones. They can see me from a mile away. Or I'm buying new. I do like the people that put that thought into it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll probably never put money into a car outside of making sure it functions. Like, I need new tires because you need new tires. Or shit like that. But the people that are like, nah, I got the fucking 16-inch rims or 16-inch wheels. I'm getting the 20s next week, And when I get that paycheck, I'm getting the spinners, or
Right.
I'm getting the fucking
I
subwoofer
hope
or shit
nobody's
like.
still buying spinners.
But those people that's their
Well,
hobby.
Have you
I
seen
wanted to-
spinners on anything
It doesn't
recently?
look good on
Not in a
nothing.
long time.
But I was going to do.
Excuse me if my knowledge of cars and what people do to them is a little antiquated. But you know what I
You
meant.
were watching too many fucking Pimp My Rides back in the day. That's what you were doing.
Nigga, I didn't say they was gonna put the fish tank in them.
Yeah. Some of that stuff was a little ridiculous.
I was gonna do a
Fish
bunch of shit.
tank.
I was gonna do a bunch of shit to my car. Like I was gonna change the wheels to all black. I was gonna redo the exhaust. I was gonna fucking get it tuned, and I was gonna just basically just make it. I was just gonna fucking mod it or however you want to call it, and just get it to how I wanted it to be. But then I was like, I don't want to put the extra money into this. I don't have the extra money to put into it. So I was like, fuck it. There's other things I could buy. That's how my head works. I want to do that kind of shit, but it's just like I'd rather go get tattoos instead of spending like $2,000 on a
real
fucking
quick, though.
set of wheels.
What's wrong with somebody whose hobby is bird watching, man?
Yeah, fuck.
That was just an example
Yeah,
I gave, but
caught
like,
that real quick.
of
If
course.
your hobby is, unless you're like 80 years old, like if your hobby is bird watching, that's your shit in life, then
But I think bird watching is.
fuck.
But isn't bird watching fascinating because they migrate?
I didn't say
It's not
you
even
don't.
that.
You
It's
don't
like people
have
that
to
go to
not
the
like
woods.
it. You can like it, but if that's like your hobby, I have to get X amount of bird watching in a week, and I have a certain
No, you make
space
it
that
sound
I
like
do
a
it.
job.
But it's a
That's not-
hobby.
I got a
I
log.
gotta see 10. I didn't see. Ask me what's wrong.
What's wrong today, Ron?
I just didn't fucking
This whole weekend.
look. I was supposed to see 10 birds a day,
Excuses.
and I only saw 7. I saw 10 birds, but I didn't see 10 species. Okay, I only saw 7 separate
No, I
species.
think
slipping, you're
because
slack,
it's a
you're
game of
fucking-
patience.
It's a hobby.
Like you go to you know how like if you're hunting, you got to be patient waiting for your deer or whatever, and you got to make sure you get your shot. You can't make noise. It's the same thing with bird hunting. It's just obviously you're not trying to hurt the bird, but you got to make sure it doesn't fly away because they're taking pictures of it. I think.
Bob, you sound like this is your goddamn hobby.
No, I don't
No,
think I would
can
have the
see why.
patience though.
I passed by older. They might have been in their 80s. I was
Like, don't get me
that's
wrong, I
something
don't
you
know.
like to do.
I don't think there's any 17-year-olds that can't wait for their school week to be done.
So they can
for them
watch
to go into
birds.
the woods, and they're just, oh, am I going to see a hummingbird today?
They're
Or
just
am I going to
sitting
see a
in
quail?
class.
Like,
They're sitting in class just daydreaming about birds, and they're like,
I get that. Yes,
Steve,
probably, it's
Steve,
an old,
where was Napoleon during 1912 or 1812? I guess it's 1812.
I mean,
not
I think you
1912.
could turn it into a hobby if
Yeah,
you were
18.
like,
Yeah, 18
if you're like studying different
I know it was
species.
19. I know it was
Not
19.
19, definitely.
Yeah, he was murked up by then. He was on a shirt by then.
He was with the clouds.
They put my man Napoleon in
Napoleon.
his shirt, and he was like blood, and they was like, "Oh shit, man! Normally he got murked up."
But it was like he didn't even get killed. He just got sent away. He was like, he's on an island. I can't see him.
Well,
but
I
he's
think
dead.
eventually he did. Well, Damn, I don't remember. I know he did get exiled.
Yeah, it was exile. I don't know if he got killed after after that, but I know
wonder-
exile
he
was the
did.
last thing.
I wonder, like, those people that have those memorials, I guess, on the back of their cars, and say it's like Bob fucking Schmitz or whatever the fuck.
Oh, not me
Oh,
though.
that's an interesting
or,
mix right
or,
there.
or it could be
Oh, I
Bob
thought you were talking
Hollywood.
about me.
But it'd be funny if you like went up. I think it would be. I mean, they wouldn't be funny, but in my sense of humor, I feel like fuck it. And it's like if you were at like a red light and you saw, in memory of whatever, and then you go, the light turns green, you get around and you roll the window down, you're like, hey, and you're like, fuck Bob, he was a bitch. I'm glad he's. You know what I mean? And then just fucking
Shit.
peel off.
Shit, bro. I mean, I get where you're coming
I
from.
feel like that would be kind of, you know.
I feel your sense of humor on
What
that,
if you came up and you were like, hey, is that Bob Hollywood? Bob, no. His friends called him Bob Hollywood. Bob, from back in the day.
Oh, they had your
yeah, it
fucking-
is that Bob. It is that. Fuck that motherfucker. He owed me some money from forever
yeah.
ago.
And then you
Shut
start-
That
up.
nigga owed me $10 from 2008. I'm glad he's dead.
Shoo.
Like, shit, it's 20.
Harsh.
It's 2034, man. You still holding on to that
You
line?
thought about that $10 that long, man.
Well, I didn't, but then I saw his fucking ugly ass,
And it reminded
his
me.
ugly ass face, and I remember like, what I could have done with that $10. Fuck him. How did he die? He had a heart attack. Good. Hope he died from being guilty and owed me $10. Like,
It's that
shit.
stress. It's just too much stress. Too much stress.
Like, I haven't seen fucking Mikhail in so long, man. Oh.
McHale.
But no, like.
Larry McHale. Didn't happen to be Larry McHale, did it?
No, it didn't have to be Larry Mikhail.
What the hell's that?
It's an old friend that we used to know back in the day from, the early days of the Spitting Venom radios.
The way you guys were saying it kind of sounded like there was something kind of behind that. Like, was
Well,
it
it was back
this
when
person?
Bob came up with
No,
the
it
Old People
wasn't that
Coliseum. And
person.
Old People
That's a
Coliseum,
person we murked, and we're just
Yeah.
talking about it because we're free. We don't give a fuck about if the government comes and get us
Yeah.
for murking people.
I'm trying to change the subject to Old People Coliseum because
I mean,
that was the genocidal idea.
Can we talk about the old Coliseum on this
Yeah,
shit? Because I know we're live. We can't edit shit. Y'all know
Right.
how I feel about old
Right.
people. Like,
Y'all
shit.
know how I feel about old
If
people.
it's anybody who's seen Walking Dead and y'all seen what fucking Negan did to Glenn, that's how I feel about fucking old people. Just want to take a fucking barbed wire wrapped baseball bat.
I had a bad
to the
night
back
that
of
night
an
when I
old
saw
It
person
had
that.
to be
and just
Glenn.
I was not okay.
It had to be Glenn. I was fine with the redheaded guy.
Can I say this?
The fucking Seamus guy.
Can I say this?
Seamus.
Can I say this? They had teased Glenn dying for like the whole season
He's so likable.
leading up to that, and they kept on be like, "Oh no, he hid under the dumpster, and zombies can't bend their knees and look under a fucking dumpster," or he got shot
that.
clearly, but he fell and slipped
But
in the
you
dirt.
know-
He wasn't.
but you know
so
what?
listen,
He's did a
so
lot.
listen, so listen.
I'm listening.
When he got murked, I didn't even give a fuck no more. And plus, if it had just been him, maybe.
You know why
But
he
the
doesn't
fact that
give
they
a fuck?
killed
'Cause
Abraham
everybody else did.
beforehand, it was like, okay, they killed Abraham. I cared more about Abraham because Abraham didn't get teased us with his death up until that point. Like I said, if they would have never
you
teased,
don't care about Glenn because everybody
if
else
they
cares
hadn't,
about Glenn.
I just explained
that's
why
how
I
you
didn't
are.
give a fuck about Glenn, and I'm still not
I have high thoughts for
accurate.
Glenn too.
But listen, if Glenn hadn't teased us at least twice before about Glenn dying, and he hadn't been the second person to die, I'd have been like, fuck. Like, I didn't read the comics. Apparently in the comics he's the one that goes. I didn't know that shit. But had there been no teaser, and had he been the only person, I'd been like, damn, that is fucked up that they killed Glenn. But again, it was a teaser. There was at least 2 teasers of Glenn dying, and then they killed Abraham first. And like the way they built it up, you knew it was going to be Abraham first because he was like, well, it's going to be somebody who's going to hold their head up like a man. And he was like, he's going to fucking kill. He's not going to kill Rick. You can't fucking kill Rick with a baseball bat. It's not going to be Daryl because you can't kill fucking Daryl with a bat. It's going to be the other next toughest motherfucker because you don't see him killing a woman. And he didn't really know the woman like. I mean, everybody in the group is tough.
Right.
But Abraham was like, if you're going to fucking kill me, basically. So when he murked Abraham, I was like, man, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I didn't feel sad. But when Daryl got fucking Glenn killed, I wasn't like, oh shit, that's fucked up.
And they can't hold on to kayfabe for 2 seconds, man. Because right after that shit, I went on fucking Instagram and they all got pictures together and Glenn's fucking eyes
so
hanging
sad
out,
with Glenn
and
dead.
they're all fucking got their arms around each other. They were all sad.
kayfabe.
They were all sad because it's his last day on the set, and
Yep.
everybody they're hugging each other and his eyes hanging out. He's still got all the makeup and shit on, and he's like. And I'm just like, God damn, 5 minutes.
liked-
Couldn't wait 5 minutes.
I liked Glenn Like if you watch the show from the beginning,
I liked them too.
I like the way that the characters became tougher over time. All the characters.
Yeah.
Like obviously you had motherfuckers like Daryl that had a rough upbringing. And in a way, they became softer because you got to learn more about them as a person. They weren't just
Rick
some
was the
badass
reason
person.
because I was late to the whole Walking Dead phenomenon, I guess, and I was a few seasons behind when I very first started ever watching it. And Rick, the first time I tried to watch it, he was the reason I was like, I'm not watching this shit. Because the whole first episode is him like, and he's just running around crying and screaming everywhere.
Why he's figuring out the world's over.
I couldn't do it, man. He's all in his hospital shit.
just
Like,
Was he that
and
dumb?
I'm like, this is.
I don't give a fuck. Rick
And he
was.
got through the first thing, and then he found a tank and a horse and all that stuff, and all of a sudden you hear, and of course we find out that's fucking Glenn. But you're, hey, idiot, you're fucking blah blah blah, or whatever. I don't know why Walkie was here. I don't know where it was, but I'm just like, this is dumb. They killed the fucking poor horse. Rick's a fucking pussy. I can't do this anymore.
How's he?
And now some guys in a fucking.
He's never seen a fucking zombie before.
Wrestling gimmick. 4 guys who don't have a lot of money, but they have horses. The poor horsemen.
The poor horseman.
Keep it going.
That was
You
good.
know what I'm saying?
That was good. But I'm
I
like,
don't like the way my face.
when
looks
Rick
when I
found
do
his family, I don't know why we're fucking recapping The Walking Dead.
When I
We're
started
this-
watching,
might as
like,
well now.
like the shit's hot
Because
news.
I stopped watching. Did they end it yet?
I didn't finish the season because I didn't have cable, and
This is the last season, though.
I don't think it's the last season,
I
but
thought they
because of
shit,
Corona,
end it soon.
because Corona, I stopped going to my friend's house to watch it. So, and I just
Yeah.
never had the time personally to keep up. But at that first season, when they get to the camp and Rick finds his fucking family and like Rick's fucking crying, bro, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like I don't mind. Like if I watch something and it gets me emotionally, obviously this motherfucker thought his family was dead.
Oh, I'm definitely
His
a fucking
family thought
crybaby.
he was dead, and he's just thinking, I'm going back to the camp. These people rescued me from this tank.
Right.
I helped them get out of this
Meanwhile,
fucking
the
mall.
fucking Punisher
And
was
you run up,
fucking knocking boots.
tearing
like-
up this wife's ass. Tearing that ass up. But when you find your wife and son, and like the son was running like, Dad, and Lori, the bitch, Lori, the bitch that she is or was, she's like, where are you going? Come back here, Carl. And Carl's like, get off me, motherfucker. That's my dad. And then,
I did not like Lori at first.
Oh my God.
But I quickly.
oh my God.
Several seasons in, I was like, "That's that bitch."
Hold on,
Like,
let's
I
just-
gave no shits for
she
Lori.
is
Listen,
that.
this is
no
how
shits
much
for
I
Lori.
didn't like Lori. And she's not
Oh,
my
I
least.
hate her. I wanted her to
and
die
she's
in
not
every
even my
episode.
least favorite character on that show. But this is how much I didn't like Lori. When I was watching Prison Break on Netflix years later, I'm like, oh, this bitch Lori's on here. And when they brought her back in the third season, I thought she was dead. I was like, I don't even want to watch this third season. Fuck her. Like, but sadly,
So Lori
Lori wasn't
didn't-
even the worst character. Andrea was, oh my God,
she was,
bro,
she was worse. She
this
was worse.
dumb
She was-
bitch.
She was hard. She
Like-
was a hard one to watch.
Like, oh my God, I ran away from the governor. Let me stand 50 yards away from the prison and wave him down. And then the governor just come here, bitch. And they just, I'm like, oh my God, bro, she was the worst. She had the chance to murk the governors, and I love the governor, but she had the chance to murk him, and she's just like, what if he can be changed? What if we could change his heart? And you could just stab that nigga while he's asleep. And this is...
Just get it over with.
Y'all would still be in a prison. Herschel would still have to. Well, I think he lost his leg, but he would have a head.
He'd have
his
life,
head.
right?
Bro, I know, and it's so weird. Like the main heel is fucking Negan, right? Like but I love him.
I tapped out.
Like
at
I
Negan.
love Negan.
I tapped
like,
out at Negan because I just got like, oh, another governor. Okay, bye.
So
No, he's
I
worse
was-
than the governor
I was
because-
watching.
I just tapped out.
I was watching their 100th episode special or whatever it was, and it was like a whole live thing. And so the host of the Talking Dead was hosting this 100th episode special thing or whatever. And so they had all the actual cast, characters come out on the stage as themselves, like just their actual. And then that's when I found out the majority of people are fucking British. Like
Right.
they all fucking
Yeah, it's so
speak.
weird,
Like,
yep.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But then Negan, Jeffrey, whatever the fuck his
Dean
name
Morgan?
is, Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He came out, and the whole time you kept hearing people because there was like a whole like live crowd, and you kept hearing people in the crowd like, "Do the lean, do the lean. So finally he was like, I gotta do the lean. So he got up and he was just like, he hit that fucking shit. I was
What's
like,
the lean?
it's just
It's the way he stands.
Oh, so
like-
he can
He's
stand.
like, holy
okay.
shit. And he just does that thing. And I'm
Where
like,
he's like, what the?
yeah.
What the
You know,
it's like
I
a
was at,
surprise Negan or something.
yeah, he does that thing.
But it's
where
a
he
Negan meme.
It's a Negan thing, man. And he did it. And the whole fucking place went nuts.
Like,
I was
Negan
like,
was-
that's fucking awesome.
Negan was cool because, or is cool.
Is he still there? Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's cool because it's like he's an asshole. He's done
a
things
cool
to be.
asshole, man.
He's done things to be considered evil, but he was human. It's like, yeah, these people look to me to be a leader. I can do that, but if we got a system to work, you got to be an asshole. Goes back to the conversation we were having weeks ago. Like, obviously, you don't have to beat people with a bat,
Right.
but if you're bringing new people,
Machiavellian, you might have
if you're
to.
bringing new people into the fold, and you're letting them know, hey, the way you were doing things, it ain't gonna work. I'm in charge now. Unless they're just like, oh, we need a leader. No, you got to show them that, hey, I will fuck you up if you don't listen.
Right.
And I know you haven't fucked up yet. Well, I guess Rick's crew had murked a lot of his people. But even if that wasn't the case, hey, I got to prove to you off the bat that this is what will happen. There will be punishments. And there was a pun. It wasn't meant to be. But yeah.
Back in like the medieval days, like and then this is kind of goes back to like the Machiavellian teachings.
Machiavelli, Illuminati.
Where they would take over, like a king would have to set a precedence. He'd have to go in and kill some people in the streets and make everybody chill out. Like, make everybody be like, holy shit, this is bad. And then slowly but surely, you'll let them come back to some kind of normalcy. Let them come back and they'd start having festivals. But they'd still have in the back of my mind,
Right.
if we start trying to rise up, we might get our heads
And
chopped
that's the
up.
thing about Negan. Like, he did what he did. He had his rules in place, and he was legit with those rules. He meant you follow these rules, you're
gotta
good.
do 'em, right.
But it was his generals that were like, we're going to take a little bit more.
Right,
And there's no
right.
way you can be like, oh, but well, they did. Like, well, Negan said, yeah, but Negan's not the one collecting supplies. I want this extra shit.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do. It was his generals that were assholes.
But that's how that goes, right?
Right. Like, obviously, if you're in charge, you're not going to be out in the street
Right.
collecting the shit you need to collect. Unless, like, when Negan had to show up to fucking Alexandria, because motherfuckers was getting online. He was like, oh, let me actually pay them a visit. And shit like that. But
I like when he went into like Rick's. It was when they were living in Alexandria, right? When he went into where Carl and was it Michonne was staying there, and he was like fixing them. Like it was somebody. It wasn't Michonne. It was some other woman. But he was fixing. He was like, he like sat down at the table and put his fucking.
I think it was Judy, the little girl.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, and he was like talking about how he wanted orange juice or something. Like he moved in and was like, you were like, he can do that. Like if nobody's gonna stop him. They're gonna try.
But the thing
But
about
like he could do that. He was the greatest character.
the thing about going back to the governor, who I love the governor, like the governor, but he was evil for the sake of being evil. Like
Collecting the heads.
he's like, well, not even necessarily that, but when
I
he's
think
like,
that.
but when he's like, they're saying there's a solution. We can live in peace. It's a big ass prison. Y'all live on this side. We live on this side. No, he didn't want Rick
Right.
and his people there. Period.
Right.
Like, I guess he would keep the women because he was sadistic like that. But no, he didn't want you around. Like, if you weren't one of his people, he couldn't trust you. And that's just not how things work.
Right.
At least with the governor. I mean, at least with Negan, he was like, all y'all people can live here. All y'all people do whatever you want. I'm just gonna murk one of y'all people first day.
Yep.
And then if you get out of line after that, and like that's why Glenn died, because Daryl got out of line and he had to. I mean, I think he had already
Make
proven
an
he
excuse,
wasn't
make it a-
to be
make an
fucked with when
impression.
he murdered Abraham, but still, now I'm gonna murder fucking Glenn. And he was cool after that. He didn't hold any grudges. Like the governor foolishly just held a grudge against Michonne because she stabbed him in his eye. Like, sure, I don't want somebody to stab me in my eye, but I'm not gonna be so obsessed with this one person
Right.
that it risks the downfall of my whole society.
And it was in a survival type situation anyway.
Right.
So it's like me or
I
you.
liked-
Like at least I just lost an eye. I didn't die.
I liked whenever he told Rick to cut Carl's arm off or leg off or something. What was it? He had to
Yeah.
cut his arm off or his hand or something like that.
But see,
And that whole scene, how sadistic and like Negan was like getting Rick to do it, and Rick was like, oh.
and see, that's another thing about Rick. Like his acting, like when he's sad. He's like, do it to me, and it's like it was very believable. No, bro, it's like
you believe it. You don't believe it.
What?
Rick's acting because he likes Rick's
No.
acting.
It's good, but I'm saying, who am I to judge this guy's acting? It was good, but he was like, he's too.
Well, I mean, if you don't like it,
all
you
he
don't
does
like
is
it.
cry.
like when
all he does is cry.
when they were still in the prison and the fucking
Like
one prisoner
ugly cry.
fucked up the prison
Right.
shit and they had the zombies like overwhelming them, and then Rick found out that fucking Lori, the bitch that she was dead. He was fucking like, because he had been beefing with his fucking wife,
Right.
and now he'll never get to apologize. And he's like, oh,
That's the
bro, like that fucking face.
and he just saw him. That was a good,
That
was
face
a good
broke
scene.
my heart, bro. I
Because he
was
didn't
like,
have to say anything. That
he's
was a
just
good
fucking
scene.
looking at, and then like Rick.
That was a really good scene.
Like Andrew Lincoln, he is that.
hate Rick.
He
I
is
hate
that
Rick.
mango. Like before they get to Woodbury, not Woodbury.
Why do
Before
you
they
hate
get to
that mango. Why do you hate that mango?
before they get to Terminus, and they run into the evil dudes that had fucking Daryl with them, and then they come across Michonne and fucking when they finally catch up with Rick, Michonne, and Carl, and they're like, like the one's gonna try to fucking molest Carl, and they're basically they're gonna kill these motherfuckers because they killed one of them men, and Rick bit that motherfucker's throat.
was the
That's
shit.
like pure protection.
That was
like
good shit,
I'm
yeah.
a fucking, my hands are tied, but hey, you're not fucking hurting my son, you're not hurting my people, and he ripped his fucking throat out, man, with his teeth, and then they fucked him up, bro.
Like a cat.
I loved it. Again, I don't know how we got on the topic of Walking Dead.
Why not?
I just said I don't know how we got.
Back to Abraham and Glenn, since that brought us onto the discussion. Let's just be real here. Abraham was a bigger loss to the group than Glenn. We all liked Glenn, but a bigger loss was Abraham. Abraham was way more capable of doing way more. Glenn's going to touch you on the back and be like,
But see, the thing
thanks
is,
for the help, guys. Yeah, can you help us come fucking take some trees out?
But
Some
listen.
zombies, Glenn?
everybody but fucking Bob. I don't remember if you remember fucking Bob,
I don't.
the black dude
From
that was an
like, the first
alcoholic.
season?
No, it was
I don't
later.
remember alcoholic.
It was after they left.
I think I do. Did he use the stick?
No.
That's
That's Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah, Morgan.
I hate to say this,
Morgan.
but unless your name's Michonne, if you're black on The Walking Dead, you're fucking useless. Like, you guys have done nothing. Tyrese, the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Bob-
Tyrese didn't do any. Yeah.
Bob was fucking useless. Fucking what? Somebody else. It's two more people. But who were we just talking about?
Morgan.
Morgan.
No, the Bob.
I can't kill no. I can't do it.
I can't do
I
it.
gotta.
Yeah,
I can't.
that was the annoying
I'm gonna knock the zombies out, nigga. They don't sleep. Kill that fucking
I'm gonna
zombie.
knock the zombie.
And then fucking Gabriel. Oh, like I think Gabriel's starting to fucking get some usefulness, but he's the
Gabriel's
the priest.
The priest. Yeah.
oh my. So yeah, unless your name is Michonne and you're black on The Walking Dead, you're disappointing. You're just fucking. It's bad. But no, going back to Bob. What the fuck did Bob do? I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. Like I just
It was something to do with Bob. It was because how useless he was.
fuck. I don't
You were
know.
talking about black people on The Walking
Well, it was
Dead.
before that. It was before we even got to that. But I started thinking about how useless. Fuck it. I don't fucking know. The most useless black person on The Walking Dead was the black dude that was with the governor. Because when the governor started wilding out, he was like, "Nah, nigga, I'm not a part of this." And he got the
out.
fuck out of there.
He
And
got
we
straight
never
out
saw
of
him
there.
again.
Completely.
Another black person that was useless, the dude that played Dr. Dre in the NWA movie. That motherfucker just left Tara. He's like, you know what? Peace out, Tara. And we never saw this motherfucker again. Like, another useless black person, the person that Michonne knew from her past, the other black chick that had the kids that were trying to fucking. It's just.
I like Michonne. She was one of my favorite characters too. Besides.
Oh no,
Negan.
you were saying about Abraham versus Glenn, and I was going to say Glenn wasn't useless, but he wasn't muscle. Like obviously all of them because they had been in
Muscle
it for
means
so
more
long,
then at
but
that
because
point
they
when
had
you
been
have
in
to
it for so
survive.
long that Glenn was very clearly was capable of killing zombies.
Right.
He hadn't killed a person until they came across the not the government, until they came across Negan's people, and he killed the one dude in his sleep. That was the first time killing a person, but. You knew he was,
About him killing somebody in their sleep.
but you knew he was for the shit because obviously they're going to protect.
Yeah, but
this
we don't
unit.
need somebody who's going to sit there and say a prayer before they kill somebody. We need Abraham to come in and
Fucking bro kick him.
Well, everybody can't be
Bro,
Everybody can't be Daryl.
That's true. That's true. The quiet assassin.
Come on, like when at the end, like before they met Negan's people, and it was it Sasha, fucking Abraham and Daryl,
Borat.
and he blew the motherfuckers up with the fucking rocket launcher, and you weren't expecting that shit. I was like, oh shit.
I did forget about that.
He was like, yeah, you're gonna go in the back and you're gonna get all the shit you guys got, and then boom, motherfuckers blown up. Like Daryl was a like I said, I didn't finish this last season, but they're on their way to making my man softer. If he ain't dead, I don't like us.
Who, Daryl?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does seem like they're making him a little bit softer.
That's an ugly looking motherfucker, man. I'm sorry.
The guy
I'm
that plays
sorry.
Daryl?
Daryl,
Like when he
whatever,
cries,
Norman
that's the
Reedus
ugly
or
crying
whatever.
motherfucker.
Norman Reedus.
I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying that's that guy.
With
man,
Meryl, when
did not
when he
get
found
blessed with
Meryl
looks.
dead, that ugly ass face he made, I'm like, whoa, bro. I hope nobody ever makes this motherfucker sad, because he's the ugliest crying person I ever met.
I know. He takes some tips from Rick.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, that was a fun little discussion that we did not plan on.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
So if any of you guys are fans of what's the show called?
The Walking Dead.
If you guys are fans of The Walking Dead, give us some of your favorite memories. If you guys enjoy, I don't know, what else? What are some of the good? I mean, we pretty much covered all the important stuff that happened during The Walking Dead.
I don't think all the important shit, but it's obviously a long running show. It's a long running show and still going, and there's spin-offs.
But because there was Fear the Walking Dead.
And then I think there's a new one that's coming out, because Fear is still going, as far as I know.
Is it really?
Yes, as far as I know.
Jeez,
Like, it's a
Louise,
different
zombie
tone.
people.
It's a different tone.
Yeah.
I started watching.
It's more like a horror with them.
I
At
don't
least
even
the
know.
first
It's
season.
they're not ricking them. They're not
What are they?
in the thick. They're not like ass kickers. You know what I mean? It's taking them longer to get to that. Like Rick and them were like ass kickers was that second season. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So these folks are
humans
still
were the worst thing that they were worried about. Not
right, and that's how it's been. Like they haven't worried about zombies in the longest time on regular Walking Dead. Whereas, as far as I know, on Fear the Walking Dead, it's still mostly zombies.
Right. 5-minute break and then come back?
Sure.
All right. Guys, we're going to take us a little 5-minute break. We'll be back. I'm going to set this timer. The timer will go off. I'm just going to put it up on the screen, but everything will still be live. Everything will still be going. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for joining us and all that other good stuff. So I'm going to put this timer back up. So we'll be back in about 5. So watch the timer. We'll be back in 5. If not, whatnot.
I didn't know.
I don't know which one it was. He said yellow. Is it the steak? Picking up steaks. He ain't got nothing. Oh, will you guilt trip us now?
No, I mean, that settles that.
No, I feel bad now.
I don't guilt
You want
people.
my steak?
I don't kill people. I'm just like a fucking snake.
Yeah, yeah. Which one?
Apparently,
Yeah, I heard it's not chill. Not like a chill.
Disney. That's what they do. Actual books, Lines of Shanti, Lines of Human Village.
Mhm.
That's not even like a book. That's just like first line. Apparently, in Human Village, humans don't fuck around. Humans are assholes. I like this. I'm going with the humans. Fuck all this bear shit. I just barely survived an encounter with a tiger. I'm going home. You know what I mean? It's even the wolf. This has been the whole
These are good. That's a good one. Oh, Spider-Man.
Where are we going with that picture?
Oh, I can use pictures and stuff now on the show. So tonight's our experiment with that. That's adorable.
How long did we go for?
So I figured we'd take a little break and then roll again until we good. I mean, we're thinking about. I mean, we're 6 minutes in. We might as well wait another 4 and let the preview go again, and then we got to get back to the road.
Fresh in the news? I don't know. Yeah, it's just because I never know when we're actually going to be here. And I didn't follow anything. Like, I didn't watch any of the. So I never watched any of the national convention.
I was about to say tonight with the RNC.
I know a lot of people were saying good things about the Democratic National Convention. They were saying Biden sounded real presidential and all that. I mean, I'll keep my opinions to myself on that. But I didn't listen to it. I just don't care about people.
He's just hard to listen to because he does it so
I mean, I just
talk. He
it's
cannot
just
talk.
fun. He doesn't sound like a person.
He don't. His brain's gone. Like Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris, however her name is going to be the president whenever.
About that.
If he takes over, she's going to be president.
She gonna be running now?
She's
Probably.
yeah, kind of like Bush with Cheney. Cheney was really running it. Kamala's going to be running it.
You think Cheney was running it, man? I mean, Bush didn't come off as a very
Bush
intelligent
had
man, but he was a
the
good.
family.
He was a.
You needed Bush.
I
Get
don't
us in there,
know.
brother. Get us in there. I'll take care of the rest.
I don't know.
That's what I think it was.
I almost want to
think that
say
was,
like
like,
Trump and
convenient.
Pence, but Trump is just too much of a personality to just let somebody pull a string other than Putin. But
Yeah. Well, then
feel like
there you
Putin
go.
pulled a string.
But why would he? But if you think that he has the personality, see if we can do this on the podcast. If you think he has the personality to be pulled them, but Putin's the only one that would pull him, why is Putin the only one that would pull him?
I think it's probably misleading. You know, like sometimes you'll have one friend that can.
We're almost to the. We got like 2 minutes till the cut down. You wanna let's just go this and then we'll finish with the
Yeah.
lighten it up with the trail.
But I'm always on the situation where last night my band drank. I drink everywhere. I drink all over. Yeah, but I'm not having like pounding. I have a beer. I'm drinking.
No, I was trying to think of what I would pull up. I got something text.
We got 40 seconds till we're back. See, he was acting like in the workout yesterday. That's what I'm saying.
What you about to do? Countdown began. We're live. Damn, I'm about to say, can you get us some water? But it's cool.
I'll get you some water, but you gotta carry the. Oh yeah,
I gotta carry-
We're back there. We're.
I just said the countdown began.
We're rolling.
It started almost immediately after you got up.
I told him a minute ago.
I mean, I could cover it, but who am I going to talk to? Just
And
myself?
you would think that he would want to be serious. And look at this. My microphone's not working now. Everything's falling apart. And Jimmy's not even back for the show that we Jimmy's getting water now. I can't even complain about Jimmy because Jimmy's doing something that's for the greater good of the podcast. And I'll say society at a whole, because we know that Jimmy does his best to motivate people, and he wants people to go out there and live their lives just like Jimmy lives his life. And Jimmy is one of the best motivators that I've ever met in my life, because when I work out, there's one person I know I can always depend on, and that's Sindred from As I Burn the band. And
The act is up, okay? You can stop now.
he is so hardcore. He makes me want to. Oh, what's up, Jimmy? You want to come in through here, Sindred? Nobody cares about who I am.
I mean,
We are back, guys. We are back, and we were so
in the
off
grand scheme of things, he's not lying.
right. So off the and this will be just a little bit of politics stuff. So Bob and I were having a conversation about Kamala Harris and
Joe Biden.
I want to say Kamala because I love the rest.
I
of
do want to
Kamala.
say it, but I know it's not her name.
That's not her name.
Like, if
Right,
I had
right.
never heard her name, I would call her Kamala.
Right, you would think.
Because
You
like
would
the
think it's
wrestler,
Kamala. Right.
and I did know
Strictly
one
because of
person
the
with
wrestler.
that name that was her, but I know that's not her name. I'm not going to disrespect her.
So anyway, I brought up the comparison that I don't think that, and I'll say this online on the stream, I don't think that Joe Biden's brain's really there like it used to be. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I should go back and see that Joe Biden was like that always. And if he was like that always, really good job marketing him and making us believe that he wasn't like that. So good job, whoever
His fucking
did that.
promo was awesome. That's all.
Which promo? Which promo?
His acceptance into the thing
Yeah,
or whatever.
was that
shit
good?
was fire.
So that was good.
I was like, yeah.
Okay, so we know now that the zombie can fake it for a little bit. So that's great news.
It's got to be better than what we have.
Yeah. So when
And I'm not even a political
so when
person.
that brain, it's going to be better than what we have. But yet you go back and watch majority of the conversations that he has that he cannot prepare for. If you don't have somebody writing something down for him and he's not reading it and preparing for it, sure, I would think that would be fire. But if I know that somebody probably has time to prepare for this, I'm going to judge them off of when they're on their
Well,
toes,
that's like a
when they have,
national
live-
thing, so you have to prepare for that. You
Well,
know, and you
Yeah,
have,
I'm not
there's a
saying
lot of
that's irrelevant. What I'm saying
know what
is
you're saying.
what I'm saying is he can prepare for like speeches and stuff like that, and that's great. I want to see him off the cuff talking and having real conversations
yeah.
with people because you can't prepare for that.
Yeah.
Howard, like the debates will be more of a thing for me to be able to be like, oh, Joe, are you on or not? Like a speech is cool, that's great, but I want to see like him and Trump going at it like as a debate because in my opinion right now it seems like if they were to win, Kamala Harris is going to be the president, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's going to kind of be like a George Bush type of president.
Yeah.
And old shoot, I
I
forgot
don't
his
even
name.
remember his
What was
name.
his name? Cheney.
Cheney,
Cheney
that's
was
it.
running it. Cheney
Yeah,
shot
Cheney
somebody's
was-
face off while he was president.
Cheney
and ain't nobody asking any questions.
That was an accident,
Yeah, of course.
and it was.
Of course it
course
was.
it was.
How dare me?
Of course, it was an accident.
How dare me for bringing?
I mean,
But this is
He
weird,
knew
'cause
too
Bob
much.
Likes, but Bob likes Bush, or what did
I
you
love
like?
Bush.
He loves Bush.
Still
He's
do.
such a weirdo.
No, man, like the man's so disrespected. But I think he's definitely his legacy has turned around. Like he's
It has
definitely.
turned around. That's true. That's
But
true. That's
I thought he
weird.
was entertaining when we were younger. Obviously, I wasn't old enough to vote for Bush. Barack Obama was the first presidential term I was old enough to vote for. But no, I thought Bush was just not entertaining. Like,
Right.
sure, he got us in a couple of wars, but and it was probably personal shit. But it was what it was, man. It was personal shit. Like, the Saudis, they were talking shit about my daddy. So,
Right.
so we got something for them.
Well, you can't
We
let him
didn't
talk like
we
that.
didn't find out one weapon of mass destruction anywhere. But hey, we went to war with two countries like we were in the right.
We were on it. We were on it.
But no, at least he was honest though. Like he was up front. Well, he wasn't honest. Clearly, there was no weapons of mass destruction. But you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Bush. If I could vote for fucking Bush again or now, I'd fucking vote for Bush. Bring Bush back.
What about Jeb?
BBB. Bring Bush back.
Would you go Jeb?
Fuck it. I just want George W.
You want the
Or-
George? You want the
I want W back in
You gotta
office.
have W
And I don't know who would be his fucking running mate. His running mate could be fucking, I don't know. Bring Cheney back too. They're both old as shit now.
Right.
But nah, man. Like, I think George Bush gets a lot of hate. And like they actually like Comedy Central had like a sitcom making fun of this motherfucker, man. Like he was
Yeah.
like obviously we make fun of
Yeah.
Trump now, but I feel like Trump has to know he's a fucking character. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Bush knew any better.
like,
I
more
just think he was
oblivious to it?
right. I think
Yeah,
Bush was
yeah,
oblivious. And obviously you can be fucked up. You can do fucked up things when you're oblivious. But I don't necessarily think he was
he was like
he
a
wanted
bad guy.
right. I don't think he wanted to destroy the world. He just wanted. He went fucking medieval. He
was probably
talked
just-
about his daddy, and he was going. He was going to use his platform to dig in your shit. Like that's a tale as old as time.
Right, right.
But Trump is just like.
He's a different.
I don't even have to describe Trump. We're all here living it. It's just he's a monster. He's literally the worst.
It's just funny because that's such a cliche thing that everybody says everywhere. It's like an NPC thing where it's like orange man bad, orange man bad. Okay, we get it, he's bad. But like what really is bad other than like the perception that people have? So like what's he doing that's so bad other than making you feel bad with work?
Let's put it this way. When Barack Obama became president, and I'll be the first person to say I didn't vote for Barack Obama his first term.
I did.
I was all about my man, John McCain. But Barack Obama became president, and then obviously he got reelected, which I did vote for him. I had a little bit more faith in him. And then he wasn't president. And then you get people from the right that's like, yeah, man, he destroyed this country. He did all this horrible stuff. And I don't know what all this horrible stuff he did. But if you ask me the same thing about Trump, which you just did, all right, Trump got elected. Didn't think he was supposed to be president. Like, he wasn't a politician.
Right.
He still isn't a politician, even though he's the president. He's been president for 4 years. He's still not a politician. Right. But, like, when he became president and he got elected, I was like, okay, let's give the man a chance. I would have said that about anybody, whether I voted for them or not. I was like, let's give the man a chance. And then, like, what was it, like the first fucking month? He was like, if you're from these countries, you can't come in this fucking country. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, these countries ain't got shit to do with nothing. And it'd be one thing if it really was countries.
What countries? What is he talking
No,
about?
bro.
And if they
But the
didn't
countries
have
he
anything to do
lived,
with
the
it-
countries he was like, you can't come in or whatever. They literally had. They weren't any other. There were countries.
So acting president did a blatantly racist move, and it was blatantly racist.
I don't know his motives behind it, but it wasn't.
Like
He didn't
there
have
wasn't
good
anything
in.
going on in the news to make you be
He
like,
didn't, right. He
oh,
didn't
they're
have
free
good
speech.
intelligence.
Right.
It's like it'd be one thing if Bush was like, again, the Saudi Arabians. This is whatever reason, and it was somewhat accurate, even though we
But it
knew
was
the
like-
real reasons.
Right.
But no, it's just like, no, this country, no. It was like he pointed at a
He's
map.
not as eloquent.
It was like he pointed at a map of that region of the world and just picked 7 random countries or
It was
something.
just like,
and like
eh.
the other countries are like, we can still get into America. We're the ones with the bombs. Like, and it was just like that was the very first fucking month or so.
Right.
So it's like, and then it just was downhill from there. Like trying to take rights away from these people, and then the fucking Supreme Court saying, "No, fuck you. I don't give a fuck."
Who
you
was he
fuck."
trying to take the rights from?
There were rights from like trans people to like this to be able to say they are what they don't even get me started on that, but like the trans people identify as a woman, so I can be a woman. He tried to take away all that. He tried to do so much shit, and it's just like, bro, slow down. You got 4 years to fuck it up. You're doing it the
Couldn't
first
say you're
day
not.
you walk into. And then, I don't. He's just trifling, bro. Like the shit they did. The shit they did with Barack, like the thing they do in the hospital, the White House is just like the first lady just fucked up the garden. Apparently, it's just like, what are y'all doing? It's just
Okay,
like,
now we're getting into ridiculous.
but no, it's just
stuff,
like,
Bob.
why are you doing
The
certain
lady,
shit?
Of course, the first lady.
Why are you?
Of course, Orange Man Bad's wife ruined.
Okay,
the
how about
friend
she
of
was the
those
first lady
flowers.
was stealing fucking Michelle Obama's speeches? It's just
She
like
did. She
it's
did,
like
though, didn't
shit,
she?
right? It's like
Isn't
shit
that
you
like a
can't
thing?
get away with.
But do you think that she did it, or do you think that her writers did it?
I think her writers did it, and obviously she was oblivious to it.
Right.
So
I think she's, and I don't want to get into bashing everybody type of thing, but she seems oblivious to a lot of.
sometimes she
everything.
seems like
oblivious.
sometimes she seems like a victim to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I married this man, never thinking he was going to be the president, but
That would
maybe
be- that would be
listen,
some shit.
maybe for his money, I don't know, but it's like sometimes when you see her, it looks like she just doesn't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want any parts of this, whether he was the president or not. I just feel like I've overstayed this marriage. She looks captive, and like, but
A lot of people in marriages probably feel that way, though.
yeah, but most of them can
Yeah, but
walk
they're not the
away.
president.
Yeah, most of them can walk away easily, and their husband's not blatantly talking about grabbing them by
I
their
felt like he's
sexual organs.
Just her sugar daddy. Like I felt like it's just a money thing.
Well, at this point,
Maybe. Yeah.
I said I don't know if that's why they got married. I don't know their fucking history.
People
But this
have
is
good
what like
deals
his
like
third
that, I guess.
marriage, which is nothing wrong with being married multiple times. But if your marriages are failing, your businesses are failing, now your country's failing that you're in charge of.
Right.
Like, we are a joke as American people.
Right.
Like,
But do you think that Trump did that?
I think
Trump did
I think
that.
on some level, people not from America are going to criticize Americans. Like when we visit these countries, they're like, "Oh, they're Americans. They think we're dumb."
Think
But I
we're
definitely
black,
think it's
right?
been amplified the last 4 years. And Americans can be dumb because I think anybody, not just the culturally insensitive part, I think anybody, when you live your life a certain way and you go somewhere else, especially if it's temporary and you don't plan on learning the customs, because you're in fucking England for a week or you're in Nigeria for a week, you're not going to these places saying, "Oh, I want to know everything about this country."
Right.
So, but I think we don't even have to travel now. There's people that have never seen an American, but they see us on TV, whether it's our television shows, which have gotten worse, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. But the television shows have gotten worse over the last
Everything.
right. So when people see Americans, I don't think they see anything positive about us. Like, and that might be the case. Like maybe
Yeah,
there
but
is
I'm not
nothing,
seeing anything positive about anybody else either.
but we're not really seeing their countries the way they're seeing us.
Yeah, because we don't. Yeah, they don't have Hollywood.
Right? We're not
So we're
seeing.
not seeing right, but we are seeing their protests and we are seeing their news. And
Yeah.
we look at a lot of their news, and I can't think of any country who's doing who's like they respect their president. Like the people in France have been like protesting since before coronavirus for months, and they've been saying like get Macron out, which is like the French president,
Right.
and that ain't got nothing to do with America.
So how does the French president get into office, and how can they get him out?
Right.
Can he be
and how can they get
can
him
he
out?
be
And, like,
impeached?
right. Well, I don't know. I guess that's.
Well, I
democracy.
think that's considered like third world. I'm making up fucking world.
All right,
That's a
third
mix.
world?
It's a
Third
fusion
world
of
and
first
France?
and third world. No, it's a first world country, so they probably have impeachment processes and
Some type of-
obviously
right.
voting. But then you come
I
to
don't
other
think he can be
countries.
impeached because he's not like.
Is he the president or prime
No,
minister?
It's more
or,
like it's like a liberal version of Trump. They just don't like him.
oh, they just don't vote him
They
again.
just right.
When it's time.
That's not what I would think. It's weird though.
Well, it's a lot better than some places in South America or Africa, or when
Where you don't control your president.
when
Other
Ronald,
places, right.
when Ronald's, when they're fucking tired of Hicks, they're like, okay, we got something for this Hicks. And Jimmy rounds up his boys, and they kick in the fucking palace doors, and they kill you and your whole family. And then now Jimmy's the president
Yep.
until I come and say, you know what, I'm tired of this fucking Jimmy dude. Like that vicious cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will say at least they can vote they can get the
Right.
president out. We've tried to impeach. I was about to say, well, I'm gonna fucking mix some words. I was about to call him Pump. We fucking tried to impeach
Plumps.
Trump, and he's still in office, and he's going to be in office until November. Well, technically January. You know, if
Until
we don't
the-
vote
right,
him out.
Right, until the thing,
So,
yeah.
and that's what we were talking about. We were talking about how I didn't watch the Democratic National Convention,
Yeah.
but I've heard people say that Biden
Speech was good.
seemed very presidential. Jimmy even was like, "Hey,
Hey, he said
you
it was
just
on
said it in the
fire.
park."
And Jimmy's not into
Right.
Jimmy's not into
So I'm
anything, he's
thinking
on the
like
outside.
I don't care about Joe Biden. I'm wondering how this speech went. I mean, he's not going to sway me. I'm not
Yeah.
voting for fucking Joe Biden. I'm not voting for Trump. I just want to clarify. I don't want people like, oh, he said he's not voting for Biden.
He's
Burn
not-
his house down.
Right.
Like, no, but it's like I'm glad that he could do that.
Right.
But that speech probably wasn't written by Joe Biden. You know what I mean? It's probably somebody, some intern. They were like, you know what? We're gonna go out here. We're gonna fight this fire shit. They're
Great.
gonna know I wrote this speech because I'm pretty sure the insiders know.
Right,
It's like
right.
it's like when you watch a movie, you don't know everybody who made that movie, but the people on the inside, even though there's the credits, but the people on the inside of the industry, they're like, God damn, the lighting on this movie was
I
phenomenal.
think he probably got together with a writer or whoever and told them like, this is what I want to say, this is what I want to hit on, this is how I feel, and then they wrote it. They put it
In
in
that
good
area,
words. They
right.
put it in a good a way for him to
Optimistically,
and
that's
then
how it
he
went.
probably,
Yeah.
he probably read it several times.
He probably had
obviously.
like a creative.
Ideally, I would like it to go that way for any politician. I get especially if you're the leader of the free world or attempting to become the leader of the free world, you don't have time to just be sitting around writing speeches. You got a lot on your plate. I will say Donald Trump has a lot of responsibilities, whether he's doing them or not. He doesn't have time to just go home and write speeches. He does, however, have time to go on Twitter. He does shit like that. But I don't expect Joe Biden to have written his own speech. But like you said, in the ideal world, at least he would say, hey, this is how I feel about this
Yeah,
topic.
right.
This is how. So ideally, in the worst case scenario, he had nothing to do with it. And when he was reading that shit, when he did the speech, after he delivered that shit, he was like, damn, whoever wrote this shit's got some fire. Like his promo was just as caught him off guard as it caught everybody.
Well,
else.
regardless
Right.
of whether he did it or he didn't do it, I'm sure he read it several times before that.
I-
'Cause it's
Yeah.
not like,
If it came off smoothly, yeah.
yeah, you made it sound like
So-
he didn't read it at all, and then he just sounded like, oh shit, I can't believe I just said it.
He,
Like, no,
he
no.
read the shit. He was like, "Oh shit, that's just
They
drop a
could've
bar."
said-
Like he had one of them Joe Biden pauses, and it's not because his brain's not processing. It's because God, he just read something that was absolute fucking fire,
It was just-
and
he
he's
just
just
had
like,
to get
"Woo."
good. Joe
And-
Biden pauses. There is a Joe Biden pause though. Let's just be honest.
God,
about that.
man, like I didn't pay Joe Biden any attention when he was vice president.
So
Like-
we had a new message on our. Let's try to figure out who he's talking about. Planet Raw said, "Damn, cool of y'all to get Scott Stapp on the podcast."
Woo!
Which one of us is Scott?
It can only
Gotta
be
me
one
or
of us.
Jimmy, right?
It can only be one of us, and it's you, bro. I don't know why you gotta be Scott. Yeah, it's him.
It's gotta be.
I mean, I don't know what Scott
Well,
Stapp looks like.
Scott
He
Stapp
might.
don't have red hair though.
Oh,
You
he.
talking about your looks?
I
To
would-
be-
I thought it was somebody said something crazy. 'cause
To
Scott
be
Stapp said
fair-
something crazy.
I don't even know. What do you mean, Rick? What do you mean? Who's Scott Stapp and why?
I was about to say, to be fair, Scott Stapp's crazy. He might look like
He is
Jimmy
crazy.
now.
He is,
Like, that's not
that's
fair.
true. That's true.
I don't
he's
mean
going
to
by.
demean people that may be in mental institutes that have health issues, mental health issues. So I don't want to make it seem like Scott
Make fun
Stapp
of
is
Scott.
beyond having help, or I didn't want to come off that way. But Scott Stapp is definitely took a turn from the worst from the days of 2002 when his arms are wide the fuck
Spiritual
open.
journey.
Like, he's some good music. I don't give a fuck, man. I be listening.
Maybe he just thinks you look like Scott Stapp.
I think that's what he meant, but he could have
Maybe.
been calling me Scott Stapp because I said something.
I haven't
crazy.
said anything about
Could've
this
been something
topic
that you
really,
said.
so
Yeah.
because I'm not a political person.
And
so.
nobody really said anything. I don't think any of us are technically political people. We
Yeah,
just
I'm not
gotta pay
political,
attention
man.
to
I just-
what's going on, you know.
I just
The only
want.
thing I know about what's going on is that Joe Biden thing, and the only reason I even watched it was because my YouTube feed, for some reason, under news, it was
it up.
all Joe Biden. And then I'd heard some people on Facebook. I saw some like memes of him like with a mic drop and fire and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh shit,
They're pushing
Joe
that hard.
Biden must have killed
Oh boy,
it.
they're pushing him hard.
So
huh?
I was like,
a mic drop for Joe Biden. I gotta watch.
I was
gotta
like,
watch.
well, that's what I did.
gotta
I was
watch
like-
it and do a live update myself so I can see how Joe Biden.
and I didn't
thing's
even
working.
watch the whole speech. It was like highlights from it. And
Now y'all know y'all are full of shit if
That's
y'all
all
are
I
posting posting little emojis saying, "Oh, Joe Biden, mic drop fire!"
Like, it's gotta be really good.
Like, come on, Joe Biden. Joe
And is it
Biden.
really? Listen. Is it really good because it was really good? Or was it really good because Joe Biden caught him off guard?
Probably that.
You know, like
You
if
probably caught everybody off guard.
if the least eloquent person delivers a speech, you can be like, that was a really good speech, regardless of the quality of the speech, just because of that person
Yeah.
was the one who did it. You know what I
I
mean?
want to watch it.
I haven't. Oh, so you haven't watched it?
No, I
I haven't
haven't
watched
watched
it.
No, I'm just going off.
I
of
haven't done any-
That's why I'm saying like it's hard for me to believe, but I got to see it before I. Before
So that's
I
the
say,
thing.
oh,
Like,
you
I
know.
don't have a reason to watch it because my opinion's not gonna be swayed. If that makes sense.
It's not right. I just want to see if he did a good speech.
That makes sense.
You know, that's the main thing that I want to do. But anyway, going on to well, I guess this will be our last topic since we've been going for over an hour and a half now. We took a weekend trip off to old Annapolis Rock here in Maryland, which is out towards Hagerstown in western Maryland. If any of you guys are
Nowhere near
familiar with that.
Annapolis, by the way.
It's nowhere, not even on the opposite side of the state. First of all, that's what confused me. And then, of course, on the way there, I had to take us to Annapolis Rock Road, which is a different part. And then I had to, spend another 45 minutes heading back to the right direction. But we finally got there, and then we started walking on this trail. But you guys weren't expecting like a legit hike, huh?
Well, I know. I figured it was going to be a hike because I'd seen pictures, and
Yeah.
I'd seen pictures of the rock.
Where? What? Right.
Yeah,
right,
and I was
right.
like, all right, so obviously you have to do some climbing,
do a little bit.
and I'm not
That's
afraid
not
of
necessarily
hiking. I'm not
true.
for you. It's not. I know.
No,
for
I'm
me,
saying it's
what
not
are you
necessarily
talking
true that you
about?
got to do some hiking to get to this rock. Like,
You could. There are some places, where you could just drive up, pull up, and you are there.
right. Like
Like,
I
we
haven't
could've
seen the
went to Dan
pictures. You
Drive.
said you saw the pictures. I didn't. I went in completely ignorant.
He was, yeah.
So I assumed that there was going to be some hiking involved because
Right,
you
a
said
little bit of walking.
we're going hiking up to this rock, and I saw pictures of it like a fucking 50,000 feet in the air. So I was like, all right, we're fucking definitely doing some hiking, and I was all for it. I mean, I think I could have wore some better shoes to do it, but I don't hike really, so I don't have hiking shoes.
Right.
But
Right.
no, I thought it was fun. It's been a while since I'd done any trails like that, outside of like regular little park trails that I run sometimes. So I thought it was fun.
Yeah. So what were you thinking, Bob, as we were walking, getting close? Did you know that there was what were you thinking that there was going to be some type of a destination where you could see?
All right, so I knew from talking to you before we set out on the journey that it was a place called Annapolis Rock. So yeah, I assumed there was a rock, but I had no clue if it was like overlooking something or if it was just a fucking rock that the natives had erected 300
Right.
in the middle
Right.
of the. So I just knew. But when we started walking, I didn't expect the steps. It was basically man-made natural steps, if that made sense. It wasn't like concrete steps into a building
Right,
or
like
something.
they didn't hammer, like, go
Right,
out
but
and
then you
hammer
could
in.
see that they were there to make it easier for people to walk, if that makes sense.
Right.
So it was still dirt and rock and wood, but they weren't naturally formed like that.
Right. Right.
And,
Somebody had came in there to make it a little bit
Right,
easier
at some
to get
point. So we're walking, And same thing with Jimmy. I could have had some better shoes. Not so much because my feet were hurting, but for ankle support, more so the way coming back. But we're walking, and it's like, okay, let's walk up these steps. Again, I don't know. I know when we got to the first crossroads, and it was like an overpass or something that we could have went straight. I don't know where it led to, but I know on the sign that said Annapolis Rock, it was like 2.2 miles. 2.2 miles ain't shit on flat land, especially if you're walking.
That's the thing.
But then we, like I said, we start hitting these steps, and I'm going into a blind. I don't know how many fucking steps there are.
Right.
It could be, these could be the only steps, and then it's more, terrain, or it could be a million other steps. You know what I mean? So we're going up the steps, and my knee was like, you know what, man, fuck this shit. Like I wasn't out of breath. Like I wasn't gonna run it like you, one of your brothers,
Brian and Leonard.
I wasn't gonna say names, but yeah, they ran ahead, and it was cool. Like we were all going our own pace. Like your sister would hang back with me, and then she said that you guys, the middle group, like you had Brian and Leonard, and then the middle group. She said you guys were going our pace or not going as fast as you wanted to keep up with us, or so we could keep up with you guys. And I didn't give a fuck. Like I mean, my goal was to make it to the top wherever we were going. Again, I have no clue how far it is, but my goal is to make it to the top, see what the view was all about, which was a lovely view, which we'll get to, and then, obviously come back down. I went into it thinking I would be able to maybe take more pictures of the surrounding area making the trip. It wasn't really anything to take a picture of, but you never know, or going into off the path and being into the woods or whatever, because you would see different little paths varying, mostly because people had just walked it. It wasn't like how these steps were, but I think it was a fun experience. I would like to do it again. Again, now I know I'm more prepared, and I would like to have more shoes going up there. And we'll talk about the pinnacle, we'll talk about the peak, but coming back down was surprisingly rougher than going up.
It's hard going down,
because I can go up and just look straight ahead, not necessarily looking where my feet are going. Ideally, it helps because you can still trip. But coming down, you had to, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but I had to look everywhere my foot was going.
Every single step.
Just because some things you could step on a rock and it just be easier than stepping all the way down. But if your fucking foot twists on that rock, we're in the middle, not in the middle of nowhere, but it definitely would have been a little bit of a while before I got help. You know what I mean? And shit like that. So you just had to tread carefully coming down. That's why I would have liked the better shoes. My feet didn't hurt as much. They did hurt somewhat because I was on them. But I have decent insoles in my shoes. It's just that I didn't have ankle support. I had running shoes on.
Right.
So I get some boots or some shit, maybe.
That was what I liked about it, though. We had 3 separate little trains going down the track, and we all kind of or I did anyway, took turns kind of talking to different people in different spots. I mean, the other two, they ran ahead. I was trying to catch up.
Right. I was never in the front. Going up, I was in the back the whole way. It was me and your sister, and that was fine.
Right.
Coming back down, it was me and Jimmy at one point in the back, and at one point I was in the middle talking to you about shit, and one of your brothers was directly behind us. It was back and forth. Yeah. And then when we got to the very end, and it was me and Jimmy, and we weren't straggling because we were struggling. It was just we were just taking our time talking.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, exactly.
And at that point,
nobody was we were all just on the trail, man.
Right.
Once we got to the end, they were okay, we got to hang back for them. But it was no, we knew everybody's going to go at their pace.
I thought it was funny because when the rest of you, all I think 5 of you or whatever, were waiting for me and Jimmy, and we get there, and you're like, "Hey guys, you want to stay on the main path and we go around this way, or we can cut through this shortcut?" I think it's a shortcut, and it was a way we shouldn't have gone. There were branches blocking somebody's property. I didn't know it was somebody's property until we were already on it, and you saw the private property signs. But then I think it was Leonard. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking do some horror movie shit just when we're about to lose the sun," and I'm like, "This really is some fucking horror movie shit." That wasn't my.
Nice and tired.
That was me wording it PC, but yeah, it was some horror movie shit, but it was a really short path. It wasn't like we were deeper in the woods, or it really was to the point, and we were on somebody's property. So unless that person was like, "Oh, these motherfuckers are on my property, I know they seen my signs," and they just start shooting at us, then it was cool. But we were in civilization at that point.
Right.
But getting to the mountain, actually being on the mountain, it was a nice view. Like, I think I'm probably a little bit more than reasonably afraid of heights, but I didn't feel any like trepidation or fear being up there. I wasn't gonna do what your one brother was doing and climbing on the rocks and shit.
Yeah,
but
he was a little ridiculous.
I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna climb a fucking ladder if it was a ladder that said, if Jimmy was like, "Hey, I wonder what's up the top of the ladder," I wasn't gonna do that shit. Then that could have been 10 feet.
Ladder on the rock.
Then that would have been weird. Like a painter's ladder just set up.
Yeah.
But no, it was a nice view. I sent you the pictures I took. I didn't take very many pictures. I don't like taking pictures of myself. But and we had group pictures. I don't know. I mean, I think you guys have posted some of those on Facebook.
We got to the destination. I'm going to post this one of me standing there real quick. If we can add, boom.
But it was cool. Do you have any opinions on what the mountaintop?
No, I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know if I've been to several different types of trails like that where you get up to like a peak and there's rocks. You go out and look like Rock State Park is kind of like that. You get up to that main rock and it overlooks like a whole. So the view was absolutely like it was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like it was really really good views. I don't get like I don't have like moments where I'm like looking out like like feeling the universe and it's like I get emotional and I'm looking at how beautiful. I'm not like that, but like I thought the view was awesome and just to sit up there on the rock and just chill, it was like peaceful.
Here's a picture of us, our group. So that from left to right, that's my cousin Leonard, me, my little brother Brian, Jimbo down there on the bottom, Donnie's behind him, Dreama's in the middle, then the two with the hats will be Ralph, which is Adam, our producer, and then good old Bob in the back. So that was our group that was there. That was Annapolis Rock. Pretty cool little spot. Now I'm gonna go on and put up another one real quick.
It was definitely cool to just get up there and kind of chill and kind of take it all in and kind of just chill. You know what I mean? Kind of get your feet back under you after doing all that. Because we walked for almost 2 hours, right? It was almost 2 hours.
I think it was about 2 hours, something like that.
Hour and a half, maybe.
And just give me some time, guys, with this. I'm still learning how to do this this software, so I was going to try to do a slideshow, but it looks like I'm going to have to do them individually, which is fine. We can still make it work. That was the group one that I sent. So now I'm going to put me. Here's a group of us. Yep. Here's me, a couple of the brothers, and Jimbo on the way there. And now I want to actually play the most important part.
Before we get to that, I want to say the only thing I would have liked to be different, and obviously you can't just change geology unless you have millions and billions of dollars to just waste.
Right.
But it would have been nice, because it was a nice view. It would have been nice if somehow you could have stuck out there for like the sunset. But then you would have been walking in the woods in the dark.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, I know most places don't want you to park when it's dark.
At sunset, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like once this place is closed
They don't
from
want to risk it, yeah.
from dusk to dawn. So, yeah, it would have been rough. But it would have been nice to just stay out there just to be able to see the sunset on that rock.
And now here's a quick little video of Bob Hollywood out there on the trails.
I mean, you got video of me? Shit.
They should build like a glass skybox.
You need some music.
Bob.
I mean, I do my best. I do my part, bro.
That's great. That entertained the hell out of me. And the last video I'll share, which is it'll be this one right here and this one right here. This one is, so we start off with Bob saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna fall straight to my death." Is it on the video? We got it
behind though.
It's working though.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a
beautiful.
Little bit of
so then this next video is just a quick little show of we're there, we're checking out everything, and then of course we have to have one of the brothers who are a little cray cray. And if I can get this image to pop up, that would be wonderful. Oh no, it's actually media source. There we go. Boom. I'm still learning this, guys. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. It's true. And there goes Bob Hollywood.
We're
we're all just relaxing. Jimbo's back there in the back asking somebody to take a picture of him.
It's gonna have to be this like this,
Cousin
bro.
Leonard
Fuck it.
with
Leonard's
the
shirt is
clean.
baller, bro.
That's a good $5 at
that
Walmart,
shirt, bro.
dude. He had a bunch of good shirts from
That was a
Walmart.
good ass shirt.
No.
You see how beautiful that view is here? I'm laughing, and then here's this psycho off by himself, just climbing.
The human goat.
Human goat, literally, just out there. Just I don't know.
I don't know if I was asking anyone to take pictures. Wasn't that the one when you were like, "There's Jimmy being the lone wolf"? You said
There was
something
something
like
where
you
that
were
was a
talking
different
about
video,
lone.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Where he's like the lone wolf out
yeah.
there.
And then
all by
and then I
himself.
came over because I was like, no, I don't want anybody thinking I'm trying to be
Two of your brothers were
antisocial.
like, two of your brothers were like, yeah, he's over here writing lyrics right now.
Oh yeah, they were telling me writing songs.
He's over here writing songs right.
Got the music blasted.
The mountain is motivating
Yep,
this man.
Yep. He's taking out everything. But that was a great trip, man. Like, you know, my siblings and family were in here to visit, and it was fun catching up with them. But it was fun having you guys there because you guys are family. Like, we're all family in this together, and I want you guys to be just as much of a part of my actual, literal blood family as anything else.
I mean, I don't think we can get any. We're in it. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
I
we've
think
known
I think
you
we're-
for
I
so
think
long,
we've
and
been
we've
in it
known
for-
your actual family for as long. Like, I met
Right.
the two brothers that weren't here, that don't live here.
Mm-hmm.
This was my first time meeting them.
Brian and,
But I'm friends
Mike.
with one of them on Facebook, and
Yep.
obviously
Yeah.
I know Leonard. I know your sister. So, like I said, I've known you as long
yeah.
as I've known your aunt, and it's just
When are you and Dreama going to have that? Dreama's my sister,
I
by
don't
the
want
way.
nothing to do with her, man.
These two are going to have some type of a. We're going to have a podcast, but I don't know if I think their competition's over. I think they're good at one-on-one.
No, I'm going to avenge myself because
can't let it go.
it wasn't a competition. I was taken advantage of.
You were taking advantage.
I didn't do
She took
anything
advantage of you. Took
untoward
advantage.
towards her. She just felt the type of way because I'm clearly 3 times her size, and I can handle my alcohol a little bit better.
So what do you think about this, Bob? What do you think about you guys like having a drinking contest, but you accounting for the weight? Because I'm sure that there's some algorithms online that we can find.
I don't want to have a fucking drinking contest. It's like I'm not a fan of alcohol where it's just like, oh,
Where it's
I can
fun.
drink you under the table. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna see me walk
Right.
into a bar and be like, we're gonna drink 10 shots and whoever can't finish has to pay for the other
How
man.
entertaining it would be if we did a podcast live.
Yeah, but we're already.
Competition.
Let's put it this way: even if it wasn't accounting for the weights, let's say me and Dreama each try to take 5 shots. I don't want to fucking take 5 shots, but then you account for the weight. I gotta take even. That's how you end
He
up
does
dead.
have to take more.
That's how you end up.
When you account for the weight, that does throw it off.
That's how you end up dead. That's how you end up on a shirt in the clouds. I don't want that.
Shirt in the clouds.
That's a shirt idea. We
That's a
get
good shirt
we get
idea.
spinning venom radio. It just says that it's
With
the,
the shirt
it's
in
the
the-
microphone and it's in the clouds, and we're like, God damn, them
That's a
boys
good
is
inside
fine.
joke, man. I like that. I like that.
That's how your shirts are made. Like
Yeah.
all the YouTube channels I watch or whatever, their shirts are something like the host says repeatedly, and it's not necessarily because they want to get it over. It's just it caught on,
Right,
Stuff like
right.
that. So yeah, we're just gonna be in the clouds. Like, I'm not trying to be dead. I will
not
avenge
trying to be
myself
dead.
somehow. But it can't be. I don't think it can necessarily be drinking because she's going to be on her toes for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she's already on it. Both of you are. That's what I'm saying.
But if somebody,
Both of you are already on it.
how do you avenge?
I don't
yourself
fucking
then?
know, man, because it shouldn't even have been. She should have just took that L.
It just got
First
out
year,
of-
she should have just been
She
like,
took
I
it L and
can't
been
keep
okay.
up with this
It
dude.
sounds like you might be worried she's going to outdrink you regardless.
Jimmy, your peer pressure and your negative reinforcement will never
No.
fucking work on me, cuz. Like,
I'm just saying, I don't. It's just one time, just outdrink.
no, I will drink with. I'm not saying I'm never going to be around alcohol again because I can't trust. It's not like she fucking roofied me and I woke up the next day in pain. No, it's just that she purposely
did
got
you
me
wake
drunk
up the next
and
day
I
in
let her.
pain?
No, I haven't had a hangover since like 2008. I was good. I just
But it was. She got you though. You
she got. I mean, but it wasn't. I let her get me.
Right.
Like it
You
was.
know,
It was
you
to
were-
a point where I was like, I know she's not fucking drinking, but it's in my cup. It's in my little shot glass. I gotta drink it. You know what I mean? I can't waste this vodka.
I gotta do it.
You know what I
gotta
mean?
do it.
So I knew it was happening. It wasn't like we're drinking and 40 minutes later I'm like, whoa, Dreama, how are you still on your
okay?
feet? You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was happening. I just didn't know she held that much animosity towards me for a whole
Right.
fucking year. That's all. First year we were just going.
Can't let shit go, man.
First year we're going shot for shot, And it wasn't like I was saying, "Oh, Dreamer, you're a bitch. You can't do it." It was like I was like, "Do you want another one?" And she was like, "Are you getting another one?" I was like, "Yeah, I can do another one." She's like, "Let's do another." Like if she would have been like, "No, I'm good," we would have been good. She was just if she would have been a bigger man and said, "I don't want any more of these shots," she wouldn't have got no more shots.
She couldn't handle it though. We're gonna have to hear from her side sometime soon.
Her lies.
Yep,
deceit.
her lies. We're gonna get her deceitful ass in here and have her conversating about it. But this was a fun episode, man. I think we've gone. Let me try to look at the time.
I
if
still
can
don't know how
see
the
it.
fuck we got on The Walking Dead. For
Oh,
so long.
we're 2 hours in, so minus about a little over an hour and a half if we're taking off the 20 minutes for the little breaks that we had.
Yeah.
But man, this was a fun one.
This was good shit, man.
I mean, the Walking Dead took up the majority of the conversation, but I can't.
and I
can't
don't
hate
even
that.
know how we got there though, bro.
We'll see.
Like it
We'll
wasn't
see how
it wasn't topical. It just was.
It just happened.
I mean, I know how it got brought up, but then we stayed. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like it was dead silence.
Yeah.
All three of us participated. That was good shit, man.
Yeah, man,
This
it
was
was
another. This is another banger in the bag.
Another-
I'm
yep,
glad to
another
have
good
done this with
SVR.
you guys.
Hey, I'm at Endgame Jourdain. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at that name. Ronald Paul Jourdain on Facebook. Any of the other guys? You got to follow them as well.
You on first or?
Yeah, it's just at I am Jimmy Lewis on Instagram.
Boom. Even though he's injured.
And I'm Melodramatic Plastic
I don't know.
on Instagram. I have a Facebook page, same thing. Also on Twitter, HW Presidential or at HW Presidential, and you can find me in Bob Hollywood. I might accept your friend request if I know why you're sending me a friend request. But
Right.
Yeah.
If I know, you got to know why though.
I'm not popular like Ron, where I just get fans.
Random
you know
people.
what I mean?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna head on out here, and then we're going to see you guys on down.